I don't know why I like it. I just always have.
This is a conscious effort on our part to open the creative envelope, so to speak, in order to entertain you in a more contemporary manner. Even though we call ourselves sports entertainment because of the athleticism involved, the key word in that phrase is entertainment.
Vince McMahon has lost his mind. The man doesn't have it anymore.
We in the WWF think that you, the audience, are quite frankly tired of having your intelligence insulted.
Have you watched the television show lately?
We also think that you're tired of the same old simplistic theory of good guys versus bad guys. Therefore, we've embarked upon a far more innovative and contemporary creative campaign that is far more invigorating and extemporaneous than ever before.
Because while Doink the Clown had a green hair and a rubber nose, Stone Cold Steve Austin was drinking his first beer in ECW, damn you. Oh, we got attitude. You got nothing, man.
As the times have changed, so have we.
I'm not going to do an impression, but basically just imagine Vince McMahon saying, "Welcome to WrestleMania. We are bringing it to you even before we get to the grandest stage of them all." This is like the grimiest stage of them all, maybe? My name is Stuart Quigley. Alongside me is
Billy Boy.
Welcome to Beyond the Beermat, a special edition, episode 25, WrestleMania 25 Redux. And there is a very specific reason we're going into this pay-per-view, because, quite frankly, we were there.
Houston, baby!
Yeah? Before we even get going on a pay-per-view. It's a big thing. I do think, fundamentally, if you're a wrestling fan, you should go and make sure you're in attendance for a WrestleMania at some point in your life. But the amount of smugness that comes out when you say to someone that's a wrestling fan in this country, maybe not so much in America, that you've been to a WrestleMania, it's quite high.
It is a great feeling.
Yeah.
I came back from a Raw house show about 2 years ago now. And as I got off the train, a wrestling fan came alongside me and said, "Oh, you been to the show?" So I was carrying around the money in a bank briefcase. The guy came up, "I was there. I was at WrestleMania 6 with, is it Hogan and Warrior? 6. He said, yeah, I went to WrestleMania 25. Yeah. You were there for Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker?" I went, "Yeah." And he was gutted.
Yeah. If you start a conversation with a wrestling fan that you've never met before, and they mention like, "Oh, they're into it, they've been, whatever, blah, blah," it's literally a countdown of the seconds before you could get into it. "Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I was there."
I was there. Were you?
Yeah. That's the ultimate smugness. And as we're going to get into for this pay-per-view, there's one match that saves this and makes it smug, but for the most part, not so much.
We are talking about John Cena, The Big Show, and Edge, aren't we?
Yes, definitely.
That's alright, because that crowd wasn't flat or anything for that one.
We'll get to that when we get to it. The thing I want to mention as well before we actually... You're not necessarily going to be able to follow along, because we're not going to do minute-by-minute commentary. That would be exhaustive. And this is only a 4-hour WrestleMania, as opposed to 8 hours.
I've lived through it once, don't make us do it again.
That's another good thing, actually, I'm going to mention. This is the first time I've ever gone back and seen any of this.
Is it?
I've never watched any of it since.
I've seen it, and the only reason I've watched the start again and again is because after the fireworks come out, right, we're on the screen. I get the Birmingham City flag out, and you can clearly see my Birmingham City flag. Except when I was there, I didn't know that. My dad had recorded it and downloaded it for me 2 days after. And we're on the start. I'll pause it and I'll show you when we get there. But
I'm assuming that I'm going to be wearing a Liverpool shirt in this and not a fluorescent green John Cena shirt. I imagine it will be football related. Let's put it that way.
football, right? I probably did have a blue
Is this the one with Owen Coyle has got?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Owen Coyle?
Jeez.
WrestleMania was Owen Coyle's highlight. Yeah. His career went right downhill after that.
Talk about the grandest stage of them all. Definitely.
Anything's better than Bolton, I suppose.
Well, yeah, that is. We're talking about the grimiest stage of them all. That's definitely it. Before we get into the main card, there was not 5 hours, as we mentioned, of bullshit going on beforehand. There was one match beforehand, and then obviously you've got all the festivities of Access and our adventures during the week, which we'll get into as the pay-per-view. But the one match that we can't really talk about because we can't see it, Carlito and Prima against Miz and Morrison. And I remember A, being slightly disappointed that was on the pre-show, but B, being glad that they gave them the requisite amount of time, because this was going to be a decent match, and it turned out to be just exactly that, a decent match.
Well, it was a decent match, and when Kid Rock's got to sing 8 songs and put a whole concert in, then you've got to cut some out, haven't you?
That's true, actually. Forget the wrestling. This is Kid Rock 25.
Oh, I'm finally glad I got to hear that cowboy song live, mate. It's like a life dream come true, this.
I heard it every time Jeff Jarrett come out in WCW.
No, that was definitely different.
Yeah, just like Sting's Ride the Lightning.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, so if you want to cue this up along with us, don't bother because we're not going to be talking for 3 hours and 57 minutes. But just to give you an idea of how we're going along with this, we're going to be going now and we're going to try and find us. If you do want to find us, this is the only time you're going to get to do it. So I'll give you the honours and we're going to go right now. WrestleMania 25, let's have it.
Game on!
It's always good to see Vince McMahon and old school promos. In fact, actually, I remember when the build up to this, and they said, first WrestleMania, I say that like you're going to go to loads, but the height when you get into that arena and you sit down and you feel it for the first time. And this sort of promo is one of those promos where you get like goosebumps.
It was the whole day. Well, I know we went for the week and we went to Access tonight, but it was the whole day. When I woke up on that morning, I felt like this is the FA Cup final. I've wrestled. I know it's the Super Bowl of wrestling and whatnot. I felt that was like, this is it. 25 years of...
Well, this is one of the reasons why we went, because 25 was a landmark, and they got it wrong with the whole, this is the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But WrestleMania 25 is still a quarter century of WrestleMania.
Yeah. I've watched the first 3, actually, and production value back then, it was just match after match after match. If you had music, you're a good wrestler, let's put it that way. Because 90% of them at WrestleMania 1 just walked out to silence.
That sounds like 90% of WrestleMania 35, to be honest.
Pretty much. Yeah, but just the walk up to the arena.
Well, this is one of the things that I want to mention, actually, before we get onto it, talking about how eras have changed. It's 10 years ago, right? And this is basically a lifetime ago. If we'd gone to any since, pretty much, maybe the next couple, but certainly this era of WrestleMania, you'd be on your phone, you'd be looking at spoilers, you would try not to, but you'd know who was sort of there. Yeah. Social media changed the game completely, whereas... we spent the afternoon of this just sitting around by the pool, just fucking around.
Yeah, pretty much. You say that, alright. I went to the Royal Rumble 2010 in Atlanta. We had no internet on our phone, and we had to go and check, because we went in, spoilers and whatnot. We went into a hotel and paid to use their internet for 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, exactly. And at this particular point in time, I hasten to be the old fella and the old man of the podcast, or old yeller even, and be like, oh man, it was a better time, but... it was good not to be sort of surrounded by this idea of you can sort of speculate but without knowing. And in the run up to this as well, because one of the important things that you got to remember is when you're buying tickets to WrestleMania, where did we get them? Like August, something like that?
Yeah, we bought them off a gentleman. This is really dodgy. This is. We bought
I remember this. I didn't think they were legit.
We bought them from a guy in Seattle on eBay. They could have been anything. We paid 100. What did we pay? Paid like 100.
That much?
Oh, weren't it? Between us, I think it was like $130 between us. And we were relying on a guy from Seattle, Washington, to send us a barcode. Jeez. And we went all the way there, not knowing whether they were going to work or not.
I'd just like to point out, by the way, Nicole Scherzinger on the screen, ready to sing America the Beautiful. She looks very different to what I remember, like even now.
Better or worse?
More sort of American in this instance, because she's not following Mo Farah and singing about yogurt. She's singing about how beautiful America is.
You got to remember though, these are. She was still with the Pussycat Dolls here, wasn't she? So she was less bitter and twisted than she is now.
You're saying she super kicked all 4 Pussycat Dolls through a barbershop window?
Yeah, I think that's the least of their worries if that was happening.
Fun fact for pop fans: on the Pussycat Dolls' first album, she's the only one credited with singing.
Is she?
5 of them.
I thought it was.
Talk about the Marty Jannetty of the
5 of
groups.
them, to be fair. Marty Jannetty, yeah, good point actually. Yeah.
I remember actually during this performance, you sort of hit me because I wasn't respecting the American National Anthem with the degree to which everyone else is around us. And this is 2009.
Yeah.
Doing it now, fuck it, I got shot. And I wasn't necessarily like pissing on the flag or anything. I just wasn't standing up with my hand over my heart.
Get your MAGA hat out.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, exactly.
Yeah, that's true actually. I that was the first time I've been to America, and I knew they were patriotic because there's all American flags all over. I didn't realise until she sung that. The hand on the heart and the hand on the head and salute and all that.
The real sort of passion that there is for it.
Yeah. I wish England showed that passion.
We're about, like, given the furore of who can and cannot wear poppies these days, I think we're about 2 years away from that.
Yeah, good point, actually, good point.
The other thing as well I'd like to mention is when you got into the arena, did you think it was going to be bigger than it was? Because I remember getting in and thinking, this looks a bit small.
I've walked into a couple of football stadiums in England, and Old Trafford, Sunderland, Stadium Light, and I've walked in and go, wow, this is a big ground. That's a big stadium. I thought it was going to be bigger than it was, you're right, yeah. So. Okay,
so we are officially on Beermat Podcast Watch, the true heroes of the entertainment scene, as it were. Not even sports entertainment, just entertainment in general. Okay, the camera is going from left to right. Big pan of the whole arena. In fact, actually, we're talking about how small it looks. It looks massive there.
It does. There it is up there.
Oh yeah, I can see. If you're sort of talking upper right-hand corner of the screen, there is a sign that takes my eye that says Beef 316. Actually, we've got it paused now, so that you can sort of screen cap this if you need to.
6 minutes 44 seconds.
Yeah, and there's one of the signs that's like sort of caught my head is someone's got, I think, a game over sign upside down, very close to your fucking flag.
Birmingham City, game over.
Quite a lot of quite a lot of England flags as well. And to be fair, there was a significant proportion of. That's what happens regularly now. I don't know if this is the first instance. Probably not.
It's in a pre-Brexit world when we all got rich and could travel where we wanted to. We could trade spices with other countries. We've had gold and all that.
That's a damn good point, actually. The fucking exchange rate at this point was quality. I come back with nearly 200 quid.
We were rich.
Yeah, we've timestamped that one as well, so you can literally go and find it if you need to.
There you go. 6:44.
That's the highlight of WrestleMania. Now the rest of it, it's all downhill from here.
Might as well just skip to the Undertaker match, to be honest.
Undertaker match, I'm skipping to the end. So, our first contest, Money in the Bank. Good way to open, to be honest with you. I think we were suspecting this might be the opener, to be fair. First one out, CM Punk, a man that would come to anger you.
Oh, I thought it was garbage. He won the Money in the Bank the year before, didn't he?
Yes. His run, generally speaking, first time around was garbage. He loses it before the scramble match. He's never really granted a rematch.
Yeah. And
you don't actually anticipate him ever being back there again necessarily. Funny enough, him winning this, and spoilers, and cashing in on Jeff Hardy, the heel run cements him as a top guy.
Yeah, the Jeff Hardy feud cements him.
Yeah. But I remember, like, in this match, I don't think either of us really predicted him to win.
I thought he was a bang average wrestler at the time. Turns out I was wrong. But there we go.
Genuinely can't even remember who I had to win this, but as we see some of the combatants come out, maybe it will come back to me, I'm not sure. Definitely not this guy, Mark Henry, who is solid and dominating, and he's not even in the ring yet.
When we went to Access, he told me off. Big, angry Mark Henry. Yeah. Mark Henry told me off for taking a picture of him. Fucking Access, you idiot. What do you want me to do? Excuse me, Mr. Henry, do you mind to have a selfie? This is before selfies as well, so I've been well ahead of the curve.
Who was it that we queued up for Access and they got replaced by Legacy like halfway through?
Oh man, it was Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They come in halfway through. But who was originally we got in the queue for?
That's who we got in the queue for. They left.
Oh!
They left.
Right.
Mark Henry and SmackDown's #1 commentator, Funaki, turned up.
Yeah.
What a replacement there. Yeah, I could have had the AEW, not quite founder.
One half of it,
Yeah, sort of founder.
Ted DiBiase comes out of AEW. He's a secret backer. It's $1 million man. It's what he's stored all his riches for all his time.
Oh, not this Irish person.
I've got to say, they're quite, like, fast-forwarding the entrances. What a fucking outfit that is, by the way, from Finlay. By the way,
it's like Kenny Omega's New Japan thing, isn't it?
Man, AEW is all over this pay-per-view already before we've even begun. Finley's come out. Who was it come out before though? While I was talking, I didn't even see him.
Oh, it's MVP, wasn't it?
The thing that I sort of reminisce about Finley is that, you know when your heel music is a reverse of your face persona?
Yes.
And like when he was a face, it's my name is Finley and I love to fight.
Yeah.
I used to joke about it all the time. I really think this is a missed opportunity. His music as a heel should be, my name's Finley and I love to run from fights. He should have been a complete coward.
He should have. Yeah.
That would have been a great heel gimmick for Finlay. Shelton Benjamin's just popped down, and to be honest with you, as much as like Kofi Kingston and that, as like you've got the Rumble spots. And speaking of Kofi, there he is. Shelton Benjamin was the kind of guy for ladder matches you would expect. What you expect from Kofi now.
Yeah. This is 10 years ago, isn't it?
2009, yeah.
Why does Kofi look more ripped in 2009 than right now?
Because he had to be, because otherwise he'd have been fired.
Oh, right, okay.
Hashtag would definitely not have been fired. Hashtag speculation. Hashtag definitely would have been fired.
Well, if he wasn't stupid, he might have got somewhere. Thanks, Randy.
It is quite impressive, Kofi's run, in terms of like how he's been able to sustain that level of like just there for this amount of time.
New Day saved him, really, didn't it? Because he was just drifting along with it.
Wasn't New Day the first time he'd ever been heel? And that's a good sort of 6-7 years into his run.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
And then I think this is the guy I called to win it, because it kind of had to be, really. You're talking about guys that are really good at ladder matches. It's Christian.
Captain Charisma.
What a great fucking nickname that was.
Captain Charisma. Why did he call himself that?
Who cares? It's fucking fantastic. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Of course, yeah, Kane. Because in doing the research of this, the Go Home Raw for this pay-per-view, the main event was an 8-man battle royal between these guys.
That was the main event?
Yeah.
One of 2 world titles and Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker on the show.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker.
So why did this need to be pushed as the main thing of Raw before WrestleMania?
I think there was something like a 12 diva fucking 6-on-6 to open it. So basically, you're talking about WrestleMania's getting everyone on the card. The Go Home Raw was literally get everyone on the card. Can I just ask, actually, before this match is just about to get going?
That was a nice little runaway by Christian there.
Yeah, the classic heel persona. Do you think they should bring this back, like as a
Money in the
WrestleMania
Bank?
thing, or has it just been diluted by the fact of? I know we did a podcast about it,
Being
but just the
diluted.
idea of I quite like it at WrestleMania because
So do I.
there was a theory, not so much in this one, Mark Henry with the elephant on his trunks.
I always wondered that. What was that about?
It's him lifting weights
Why does it look like an elephant though?
because apparently Mark Henry lifting weights looks like an elephant.
What's the trunk? I don't get what it... Or is it...
That's
what?
his legs,
Oh. Why are they long and...
trunk-like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't so much in this pay-per-view, but it's the idea that you could have won the Money in the Bank, especially at the start of the night, and then cashed in at the end. I remember
Yes.
actually being very specific about this idea because as you get towards the title matches, the disappointment was palpable. I remember going to you, is CM Punk going to cash in now?
Yeah.
Quite comfortably. And the disappointment was only raised by the fact that he didn't.
They've only done it once, haven't they? At
Seth
WrestleMania?
Rollins?
Yeah, and how amazing was that as a moment? That was the second best thing at that WrestleMania.
As opposed to...
After Sting Triple H,
Yes,
the
yeah.
greatest match of all time.
I concur. The nostalgia factor was high, which is quite literally the opposite of my more normal opinion for every other thing.
Even though Sting was enemies with the NWO, they come to help him.
Honestly, I don't really understand this because you've got Shawn Michaels, who's the X Factor, and I say that with all the puns in the world, who is the guy sort of that kills Sting. Flair should have been there as well. And I know he was
Yeah.
in the very next segment, and he was in the Hall of Fame with the Horsemen that year, I believe. You can't have a WWF versus WCW storyline, and the storyline involves Sting at his height,
Yeah.
and you don't have Ric Flair be the guy that fucks him over. And yes, he's fucked WCW over, but that sounds like Flair to me. Oh, the classic spot as this match has devolved into Kane versus Mark Henry. What everyone was waiting for. And I remember this actually because Money in the Bank had been going for a couple of years at this point. Having guys like Kane and Mark Henry in this was a bit of a like, hang on, how's this going to work exactly?
Back to your point though about the Money in the Bank. I don't think it should be a pay-per-view, you know. I think it should be at WrestleMania. If they want to put a rule and you can't cash on night at WrestleMania, whatever, but it should be a special match at WrestleMania once a year. It doesn't need a pay-per-view built around it.
The only problem you've got is that one of the reasons why Money in the Bank came in was ladder match, get the crowd going, and you got this idea of an actual really good concept in terms of the briefcase for for a whole year.
Okay.
And the problem you've got now is when they try and redact that and just go, oh, we'll have a intercontinental ladder match. It's not quite as hype. This is after the TLC era, and I think TLC sort of, now we know what the standard is, and the standard can never be met, but the idea of A, getting everyone on a card, B, having a really good match, Kofi and CM Punk here being really stupid, instead of fighting each other to go and get the belt, they decide they're going to go and dive outside to take everyone out.
Man, wouldn't it have been better if CM Punk put the brakes on and just went and grabbed the ladder at that point and climbed it?
He was a face at this point.
It doesn't matter, you can always turn back face. Don't worry.
It's not Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, that-
This is fucking ridiculous. Shelton Benjamin on the top of the
20 foot,
ladder. Yeah. Man, that was
Didn't
fucking
everybody
impressive.
miss him then? Except Kofi.
Sim Snooker caught him, which was quite unfortunate.
Well, it's the best catch he makes all night.
It's the only catch he makes of the night, to be honest with you.
His career didn't go far after
No.
that, did it?
To be fair, was his career go far before
I don't know, he was in Legacy, wasn't it? That group went nowhere.
that? Yeah, we'll get to them. All I want to talk about is, basically, if you listen to
man,
this
look at
podcast,
this.
skip fast forward 2 hours to find out we're talking about Manu for 30 minutes. See, I told you, he's got the shillelagh. I didn't even realise he was still going around with that. Mark Henry is, oh my God.
This is brilliant. You want to describe it to me?
Hornswoggle has just picked up a ladder that is 2 steps tall.
Step ladder.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Same height as him.
Yes. He's now climbing it onto Mark Henry, who the shillelagh to the leg apparently devastates you so much that you can't move. He is now atop Mark Henry, the tadpole splash to 8 people.
Oh, this is Finley's time, this is. Finley's underrated. He
Yeah.
got turned into like a comedy character towards it. I think his run here when he was a proper heel.
Yeah.
I don't know, was it as good as his WCW run?
I haven't watched enough, to be honest with you, but he was over enough in the role he had. And I think there are certain characters, you know, like you've got Mark Henry, Big Show, Kane in this match, like certain guys that you just throw into a main event feud because you know they're big and that.
Yeah.
The way Finlay went for quite some time, if he'd have got like that random month push, you would have bought it.
Yeah, it's got like the regal thing to it, hasn't it?
There was stiffness, basically.
Yeah, legitimate.
Yeah.
Hardness.
Yeah.
Solidness. Just like his theme song.
Well, if only Kofi Kingston's theme song was "I'm Jamaican and I love to fight." He just had a ladder thrown in his face. Admittedly, the step ladder, so he's okay.
What you making of that?
Your pun or the move?
Both.
Poor, both. Here's a question for you, and then my timeline's slightly off in my head. This is all before Hornswoggle being Vince McMahon's kid.
Oh yeah,
and all
it's well before that.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Otherwise, he'd have been world champion because it's
What, Hornswoggle?
Yeah, it's his son, isn't it?
Oh, of course, yeah. The nepotism in the McMahon family is notorious. It is funny, actually, because you talk about, the New Day sort of like helping Kofi Kingston and all that. He's over here and he's good enough, quote unquote, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
But I never really would have bought him as a winner.
No. Is he one of Generation Spin, though? You know, like Morrison, or they started flipping and flopping.
Kind of.
Is he one of the first ones?
Mate, yeah. I always felt like, not even to necessarily the kind of moveset that they had. That's fucking great, by the way. Mark Henry just holding the ladder up and Kofi just running straight up it. I always felt like there's a generation, you've got like the Ruthless Aggression era, or whatever you want to call it, with Cena, Orton, Lesnar, who's slightly well too old for that, but like Batista, that sort of guys. You've got a generation of guys that come just after that. Kingston, Ziggler, Morrison, that sort of guys. Yeah. They're not NXT guys. They're not indie guys, and all of them were like mid-carders for life.
Yes.
None of them had gone elsewhere. None of them have gone like, if you want to use the old classic 80s promotional thing, they've never drew a dime. But for Kofi Kingston, the thing that I think is in his advantage is that like he does have, like all three of them have got the talent. I just mentioned Kingston,
got the gift of the
Ziggler and that. Yeah, and having the New Day around you is such a difference to like, talk about Dolph Ziggler, like I only really give him credit when he was hanging around with AJ and Big E. And funny enough, Big E is part of both of them.
Yeah, Big E was like a silent muscle man, wasn't he? And now he's just a muscle man that rubs his chest with Vapo for some unknown reason.
So basically what you're saying is the hidden ingredient is Vapor Rub.
Or Vaseline, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. And Shelton Benjamin as well, he's just like been absolutely taken apart by MVP, but like this idea of, there is a generation of guys that don't have the NXT stuff in terms of hype, and they don't have the being on the indies for years, which is ironically enough, CM Punk does.
They didn't because I don't know who was booking WWE CW, but that was going to be a development thing on it. That's why they sent Punk down there, and then they came up with the NXT idea. NXT.
Well, he got over. Well, I say he got over when he was making those debut promos in ECW. There was still sort of a certain hype around him.
Have you seen his promos before on the indie scene? On YouTube?
Yeah. The whole thing that got me into it was him and Raven, which they sort of retconned into WrestleMania 28.
Yes, Raven.
This is fucking ridiculous. Christian kill switch. I thought he was going to do it on the ladder at first, and I was like, I would have remembered that, but thankfully he just did it off the ladder. Christian's sort of the guy I said at the start of this match would have been the guy who I would have said to win this, and you felt like he was right there, so to speak, because you've got Edge at the main event level, and we've got another tag team from that sort of era who are actually fighting each other on this pay-per-view, and now you're thinking, okay, all Christian needs is someone like this to get him going.
Yeah. He had his world title run in the end, didn't he?
It was more of a pity world title run, which is a shame though.
Yeah.
Right around the time where, I think it was around the time where Hulk Hogan was fighting Muhammad Hassan, and he was teaming with Shawn Michaels just before SummerSlam.
Okay.
A few years ago, when we went to house shows, where like Christian was like one of the most over guys there, probably because Hogan and Shawn Michaels were doing pre-tape vignettes, but
I think it was Raw actually. It was Raw at the NXT.
Yeah, tape draw.
The main event was Batista and Christian.
Yeah. Christian was right there at the time, and it was just, you got that bit where he feuds with John Cena, and like that's when just before he leaves for TNA, I think.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those that like could have been. I think a lot of these guys in this match are either guys that could have been and never had the opportunity, or that is horrible. Finlay taking a back bump onto the ladder that's been sort of propped up by other two ladders. No, thank you. I'll just sit on commentary. You're right, lads. That's why he's a road agent now. Basically, what he did when he took when he took that bat bump, he was sitting there thinking, I'm going to wait until a female Irish wrestler comes along, and I'm going to tell her to win the title instead, because I've had enough of this. But yeah, like I said, all these guys were guys that either didn't quite have the opportunity you would have thought, or were just there or thereabouts. They're all like 8 out of 10 guys, apart from Kane. Very different.
Yeah, he's put into a program with the Undertaker, wasn't
he? Yeah. That was quite good from Christian, actually. The ladder teeter. Has that ever been done before or since? Someone actually managing to balance themselves when the ladder goes from the middle of the ring to the edge.
That was quite impressive. I'll give him these.
Crowd part for that, big time.
Punk springboards onto the ladder the other side. I remember this happening. At the time. So like you said, I thought Christian was going to win as well. And when Punk did that, knocks him off the ladder in a second. Oh God, he's in the tree of woe. I've never understood that.
The ladder of woe.
Yeah.
Speaking of woe, here comes Kane.
He was sort of onto a last cause here, because his career started up at the top.
Yeah.
There's only one way to go there, isn't there?
It's a strange one, because I think when Kane actually does retire, sort of chokeslammed to Christian outside.
I think Christian looked like he chokeslammed himself.
Yeah.
Kane ballsed it up, so he just did it himself.
Well, why not?
How did Punk get out of the tree of woe? Referee normally has to arrest him.
He chopped the tree down himself, obviously. But like with Kane, I think when he does retire, people that haven't watched him on a week in, week out basis, because Kane's had a lot of shit to deal with, and he's made good for most of it.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be an idea of when he's gone, it'll be like people that didn't see him will be like, "Oh man, he was a lot better than you thought." This is CM Punk winning it, and
me going, ugh.
Yeah, a crowd pops, but not as big as a pop as you would have thought.
He was relatively new then, wasn't he? I'd say that he was new. He won the bloody world title in between then, and obviously the booking committee realised they'd ballsed up his first one. So thought, let's do the same thing this year as well.
It's a strange choice for him getting the Money in the Bank again, because as you said, it feels like a little bit of a reset in terms of let's just do this again.
Yeah.
But it also feels a little bit like there's no one else we want to give the briefcase to.
Yeah, well, MVP, I don't think he was world champion material. Benjamin, in fact, they're all mid-card, all of them.
Christian could have had it though.
Christian could have, yeah. I think Shelton Benjamin's underrated, actually.
Benjamin was another guy that could have easily had it. Mark Henry could have had it, actually, as well. You're watching some of the highlights of the match afterwards, and you just think, I don't think there was a wrong choice in this match, necessarily.
Yeah.
Because even someone like Kane, who we just mentioned, it's a case of, he got his chance with the Money in the Bank briefcase anyway, so it was just a case of, we'll give it to him in the future. And like I said before, when he's gone, people will be like, yeah, he wasn't so bad, but if you watched him week in, week out, then maybe he was. There are some wrestlers that are overrated. There are some wrestlers that are underrated. Kane is properly rated, is what I would say.
Yeah, I agree with that. He had a good run. Now he can run the
mayor's office.
Run the mayor's office of, was it Fort Knox? Or?
Is Knox County?
I don't know. Fort
Mike Knox?
Fort Knox sounds like a good place.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do it, because I saw the gold. Talking about winning the gold with the title, he's like, no, I'll go for Fort Knox instead.
Who the fuck is this? They got him!
Really? I didn't know this is this early in the show. We just obviously skipped forward through a highly detailed access package of just people cheering from all over the world that weren't us. But it's Kid Rock straight away. I really didn't remember this being this early.
I didn't remember it being this early, but I read the review a couple of days ago and
right.
Perhaps it was. Kid Rock looking young.
Yeah, looking like some extra out of a Donald Trump video. I don't know.
He's got a checkered shirt. Perhaps he was ahead of the hipster fashion line.
He's got glasses on as well, which is very punk rock, obviously.
And he's got a hat. Nice.
Yeah.
Is it a fedora hat?
Fedora, yeah.
There we go, nice fedora hat.
He's wearing a fucking Federer from the tennis.
Hey, you don't just get wrestling reviews on this, you get fashion reviews as well.
Jeez.
Can I just say, right, on the WWE Network, there are dots on the screen, and I believe the dots on the timer screen
represent matches.
Represent when the match starts and when a match finishes.
Yep.
So that means Kid Rock starts at that second dot, ends at the third one, and is twice the size. The gap in between is twice the size of that and the Divas match.
It's pretty much one of the biggest chunks of the night, to be perfectly honest.
Oh dear. So Kid Rock gets 10 minutes.
Man, if they got fucking Motorhead, it could have been 10 seconds. Are you sure he forgets all the words? Game.
Oh dear, that was a great performance whenever that was. At WrestleMania 17?
Possibly.
The greatest event of all time, by the way.
Man, if Kid Rock would have been at 17, it would have been even better. It's not even Kid Rock so much as the idea of like performances at WrestleMania. I get the idea that you got to try and break it up, and it's like you're trying to make it seem like it's not just a wrestling/sports entertainment thing. It's like a whole media encompassing thing as well.
Yeah.
But like, crowd doesn't know what to do with itself. It's not for the people at home either, really.
No.
And usually when you get people...
I don't know, looks like a few Houstonians there. I'm loving it. What?
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a real thing or not. Probably not.
What, people loving Kid Rock? No, it's not. Even though I don't mind him so much, as I've already said. All it is, basically, is that, like, I tell you what, if this was maybe a smaller arena, you could get, like, a group of people who are slightly more alcoholically inclined than ourselves that would enjoy it.
Yes.
Obviously, if you've gone to see Kid Rock, you're going to see Kid Rock. But these are people who have gone to a wrestling pay-per-view, and I know he's associated with it, but we're not here for this.
No, I agree with that.
And we weren't pissed enough to be into it.
No. What did annoy me is the fact that when the women do come out, this was a battle royal for the celebration of
Miss WrestleMania, wasn't it?
Yeah, 25 years of women's. They didn't even get their own entrance. They just came out to Kid Rock's music and walked past him. That's what I didn't like about this.
Did anyone get an entrance, or was it
all
of them?
The whole lot.
Yeah, okay. Because I remember like thinking, in terms of like a women's match at this pay-per-view, and you have to remember as well this idea that like women's wrestling
hang on a minute, I got something to say about
2009 very different to women's wrestling in 2019.
Yeah.
I quite like the idea of like bringing all the old divas back. Some people you haven't remembered.
That's good. That was like last year's Royal Rumble was like, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah.
All I say is, on this roster, even the ones that are bringing back, you're not getting like high quality in-ring style, shall we say. No. It's very much of the era.
There's only 4 or 5 of them that could actually wrestle, weren't there? Kelly, no offence to her. She was wrestling for how long? 3, 4 years? She couldn't run the ropes. I'm not a wrestler, by the way, and I'm not claiming to be, but I could run the ropes after about 3 weeks. And all this, and look at this. Is this appropriate for 2009? All this gyrating up Kid Rock?
Beth Phoenix having fucking none of it. I tell you what, that's great. She's got off in my opinion.
That's good.
Yeah. Was that Maurice?
I think it was
Tried to kiss Kid Rock.
What do you mean, Troy? She bloody did.
Man, the Miz will be furious.
And Natalia.
Yeah, Katie Lee as well.
Katie Lee? You know, is she a pirate for 4 weeks or something?
Well,
no, brother was a pirate.
Yeah, and Vincent wanted her to shag her brother.
Yeah.
Hashtag alleged, hashtag definitely.
That wasn't alleged, that's a fact in it. Just like he asked Stephanie to not actually sleep shave for story.
Yes, he actually asked that.
That'd be a bit weird.
Jeez. I genuinely do not know who that is.
It's Kelly, isn't it?
No, she came out first.
Oh, right. Someone that looks like Kelly.
Blonde, cleavage, nothing.
Can't run the ropes.
Well, you can't run the ropes when you're next to Kid Rock. Unless running the ropes is the worst euphemism I've ever heard, yeah? Was Kid Rock like one of the songs for this WrestleMania?
Let me check that.
I remember...
I think he was.
Shoot to Thrill was one, wasn't it?
Shoot to Thrill was definitely the main one.
Yeah. But I don't think Kid Rock
No, it wasn't. It was... I know the song, there's like a train. It's a weird music video. There's a train going along and then it goes to a bath filling up.
Right, okay.
I can't remember what the bit... hang on.
It'll come to you in a second. I'm just thinking of like how many bullshit comments I can say in the meantime to come up with it. Rhythm is a dancer, definitely.
Rhythm is a dancer.
Man, if Snap came out ahead of the women's match, it would have been a lot better. Also, as well, I think this is the weird aspect of this match that we sort of have to play in with the crowd, is that, like, when you've got a crowd not fully enthused, shall we say, by a performance from Kid Rock, and then you immediately cut to the match that most of the audience, if not 99% of the audience, don't know is happening to start with, the crowd is very sort of, oh my god, what's going on here?
Is that Mae Young?
Yes, it was.
With, what's her name? Is it Candice?
Michelle?
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think it was, you know.
Wasn't it?
Either way.
Man, there's a lot of lookalikes in this thing.
Yeah. Well, Vince McMahon basically saw Trish Stratus and went, I'll do that 50,000 times.
Blonde. Yeah, but Trish Stratus could wrestle by the end of it.
And she wasn't even in this.
She was, I don't know why. That's Kelly.
Just clock this. This is just, well, it probably dawned on me at the time.
Was it,
but watching this a second time, it dawned on me again.
Go on.
Was the whole Kid Rock thing just to disguise Santina Marella? Because if it had come out,
it is, isn't
then
it?
someone would have clocked it.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't realise. It's only because someone started chanting Santina or Santino in the crowd. I didn't realise it was you.
I've got to say, as horrible and as very sort of 2019 as this is, at the time, it was quite funny.
Yeah, but you know when a joke's not funny after more than
half a second.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like a follow-up to this on Raw where like she defended the title?
There was more than one follow-up.
Oh,
It went on for months.
Jeez, I stopped watching everything by then. This is the first time I've watched wrestling since.
Right, let's see who's in this battle royal because it's bugging me now.
Okay, Gillian Hall, Gail Kim. Also, as well, you've got Mickey James and
Alicia
Beth
Fox
Phoenix
was in this. It's Molly Holly.
Wow, she was good.
She looked jolly.
When I'm going to do the Women's Royal Rumble the other year, I wasn't entirely sure they'd have like 30 to fill, but this is just, what was it, like 25 in this or something? There's quite a few.
No, it's not 25.
It's a high number.
So you got Alicia Fox, Beth Phoenix,
The
Brie,
Bellas.
Candice Michelle, Eve Torres, Jackie Gader.
Oh, I remember her.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was with like Charlie Haas and that.
Who's Joy?
Georgia Ivana.
Who's that?
She was, I was going to say a low budget Michelle McCall, but they don't even look a lot.
The state of women's wrestling here, right?
It wasn't great at the time, let's be honest. This is the only Divas match on the card, isn't it?
Yeah. Who was even the champion?
I want to say Beth Phoenix. They've literally just mentioned it on commentary and I've missed it. Mickey James is in there, so it's possible. Michelle McCall's in there as well, so...
Michelle McCall, this is around the time she came into her own, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Started sleeping with The Undertaker.
Jeez. Actually, do you know what? Watching this is slightly more insulting to the intelligence of both the viewer and all of the participants. At no point do any of them turn around and go, "Fuck is he doing in here? Let's hoof him out."
It's true, man. It's true. It's not like he's not on camera the whole time.
No, like Michelle McCall and Mickey James just take care of each other.
Yeah.
At any point, the people fighting could just turn around and go, "Well, you clearly shouldn't be in this match."
No, that's Melina on Botch Watch.
I know we mentioned about who potentially the champion was at the time. If it was a case of Santina Marella going over the actual champion, that would have been even worse.
This is just ridiculous now. Right.
I bet if Vince McMahon's backstage pissing himself.
This is the guy that was laughing his head off at Sparkle Crotch. If Mae Young ringing the bell.
Mm-hmm. See, actually, I don't even know if this was a thing, but Mae Young would have probably done it. If Mae Young could, even been assisted into the ring and then throw her out, I'd have been fine with that.
Yeah, I'd have been alright. But have a look at rows 1 to 10 on the camera, right? Does anyone look thrilled there?
At this point, I think most of them are going, "Can we have Kid Rob back?"
Beth Phoenix should have kicked his ass at this point for that.
It's such a sour taste in the mouth. It's just the women's 25 years of women in the WWE, won by a bloke.
Yeah, that's basically what Vince thought at the time, though, wasn't it? There's no money in women's wrestling, damn it.
Yeah, he still thinks that now. The good thing about watching this without the commentary, by the way, is, and I can't see it on the closed captions, is I guarantee you Michael Cole's fake laugh is in full effect at this point.
Yeah, this is when he was an actual suck-up, though, isn't it? It's like a squawking parrot.
Anything that the commentary table laughs at, especially these days, is probably one of the least funny things you've ever seen. So that's a good sign.
Do you know what? I thought this was ridiculous at the time, and I haven't watched this for years. This is more ridiculous now. I'm watching it again.
The weirdest thing about it is that Santina is being crowned and given the sash and everything. And, everyone around, apart from Beth Phoenix, who's screwing on the side, is smiling and going, "Yes, this is perfectly acceptable."
What was his story? It's Santina, who's his sister from Italy or something.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I don't remember this coronation ceremony lasting this long.
Can I just say something, right? I set a timer going after recording this. Alright, I missed about 30 seconds, so I'm going to add it on at the end. I'm now in a minute and a half of Santina Marella dancing around. And we're still not done. He's now gyrating the ropes for some reason. Oh, there we go.
Yes, well, we finally cut away. It is Chris Jericho.
Oh, yes.
Roddy Piper, Jimmy Snuka, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Now, before we get into this, I don't even know how much the promo packages are going to show up here. How much were you in fear for Jimmy Snuka's life at this point?
I know he couldn't walk. Then he got hit with a coconut.
By the way, best Chris Jericho of all time.
The sad thing is, 2 of the 3 people on that team have now passed away in the past 10 years.
They've literally just shown it there. There was a segment where Jericho attacked Jimmy Snuka with the setup from, I think it was Piper's Pit.
It was Piper's Pit, yeah.
And he attacks him from behind, and Jimmy Snuka went down in so many stages. Talk 3 stages of hell.
3 stages of Snuka.
Yeah. And it was just a case of it's a shame really, because the build up to this was meant to be Chris Jericho versus Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke, because of the wrestler, wasn't it?
Yeah. And what I will say is that it managed to sort of pivot into something that still Jericho can really work with really well. Flair had just retired, so obviously he wasn't a part of the match, but like Piper and Flair, the two fucking amazing promos with Jericho. Then it's funny actually because you weren't necessarily thinking of the standard of the match, but I remember when Ricky Steamboat gets into this at some point, you're just going, fuck me, this is quality.
That's no one expected it, did they? Like the other two were just flipping and rolling around the mat by the end of it. Even the Walls of Jericho was like Walls of Babylon and knocked down by the end of it, wasn't it?
Basically, you had Roddy Piper who was like cutting the promos, you had Ricky Steamboat who was like basically doing all of the moves, and Jimmy Snuka who was just concentrating on breathing.
Well, see, he's walked down to the ring. Didn't he come out first and end up in the ring last or something?
He came to the ring first.
I think Piper was in the toilet when he started. He's still beating down there.
I think what Piper was doing in the toilet might be down there.
Good point. Yeah.
So we get a shot of Mickey Rourke, and it's a case of like
He should have wrestled that match. I know his producers at Hollywood sort of put him off, didn't they?
Yeah.
Have you read the story about the Jericho and Rourke at this Mania?
Go on.
There was proper heat there beforehand. And the reason Rourke sat with two big UFC characters is because they thought Jericho was going to attack him.
Well, Jericho's a master at making people think that everything he's saying is completely legit.
Genuinely, yeah.
That's what makes it work.
Yeah.
Man, Ricky Steamboat's music is quality. Back at the time where gimmicks were fantastic and not offensive to anyone. Vince McMahon going, God damn it! You're with a dragger! I can't take the piss too much because like he's trying to be fired up and all this, but I do get the feeling like he just wandered out.
Yeah.
He's not
I
entirely
like Jimmy
sure.
Snuka back in there. He shouldn't have been wrestling in this match though.
No.
I get the nostalgia thing, but
Could have actually done a Jericho versus
Steamboat.
Yeah.
They did it at Backlash straight after. Was it back?
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah,
They did
yeah.
it at Backlash. It was a good match, wasn't it? From Glasgow, Scotland. Roddy
Yes.
Piper.
Roddy Piper actually looks quite good. I'm not just saying that because he's standing next to Snuka.
And here comes Ric Flair to manage him, even though he was retired 1 year earlier and couldn't stay away, could he? Just could not stay away.
Ric Flair, fucking sprightly compared to Snuka, bouncing around the place.
Well, the one thing I will say is how ill Ric Flair's been recently. He hasn't aged that badly in 10 years.
No.
That means
In terms of a race, this is going to get very old very quickly.
Snuka's at the back. Coming up on the outside, Roddy Piper. And here's Ric Flair with a chop at the end.
We have to cut to Jericho for 25 minutes.
Man, Steamboat's coming on the outside. He's going to win this.
I think Jimmy Snuka's stopped for like a breath at this point.
Rest break.
Yeah. He's gassed before he even gets in the ring.
Snuka just ignores Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't know who he is. I can't remember what happens in this match. I'm betting Snuka gets for a rest hold to start with.
What, on himself?
Bit of a headlock on the floor for 10 minutes.
It's an interesting sort of point in Jericho's career in the sense that, like, obviously you've got the Undisputed Championship, the run against, like, the top guys, and at this point, or from sort of this point on, he fights a lot of younger guys, but this is the point where it's like, okay, I'm going to go for legends.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's trying to make this work, and obviously the Raw thing was there or thereabouts.
Don't get me wrong, the idea of this match, I think it's a good idea. I just think Piper struggled. He did alright, Piper struggled.
But the thing with Piper is that, like, even if he can't necessarily go at the same speed that he used to be able to go, or even, like, do the same moves that he used to be able to do, you get the intensity with him.
Yeah. That's one thing I think the old guys have got over the new ones. Oops, trapped his ankle in the ropes there, hasn't he? Oh, his hand.
Oh, that genuinely looks quite bad, actually.
Yeah, he's a one-armed man in an ass-kicking contest now.
I've got to be honest, Jimmy Snuka's outfit is almost as bad as the state of actual him.
I will say one thing, he's a better worker than Tamina. Still.
Oh, jeez. What was the Jericho? It just says a lot when there's a guy stood up just begging for him to tap.
Yeah, Snuka's struggling to tap out here.
It's a hard move to do, to be honest with you. Ricky Steamboat there with the Shawn Michaels Hulk Hogan style sell out of the ring. Man, Steamboat should have got a world title run after this. Jeez. I feel like Roddy Piper's wearing a different shirt than when he started the match, but I know he's not.
No, it's the same shit.
Old school's cool thing, which I thought was quite lame at the time, but it is what it is.
So I thought the idea of the match was cool. It's just only one of the three could work. Then we have Mickey Rourke at the end to steal the show.
Some actual decent facials from Ric Flair in terms of like the idea of him being legitimately interested in Ricky Steamboat beating Jericho. Steamboat's a good guy, not in terms of just legacy and whatnot, but in terms of someone who permaface against this kind of heel. It works like, obviously you're not getting peak Ricky Steamboat here, but it really kind of match you would have done if you could have had the chance to do it.
Yeah.
Does Flair get involved?
He jumps in at the end after he pins
Oh,
Jericho
right.
pins Steamboat. Shawn Michaels said, I love you and everything. And this is the respect you get. I'm going to jump back in 12 months later.
If you want, we can put his TNA run on and disgrace him even further.
I remember that tour he did in Australia, where it was like I can't remember, it was like a Hulkamania Australia tour.
Jeez.
They had a press conference, and he bladed in the press conference.
What? That actually sounds like something I'm not surprised
It's
by.
quite sad, to be fair. Jericho with a 15-foot back body drop, brilliant.
Ricky Steamboat going for the springboard, jeez.
Bit of a sloppy one, that was.
Mate,
I'll let him off.
Given the age, he can be as sloppy as he fucking wants.
Have they brought him back as a booker? Oh, right, that wrong. Or an agent?
I think he's a road agent at this point, yeah. Some guys know how to put matches together, and Steamboat's one of those guys.
Yeah.
Unfortunate sign in like the third row there saying legends never die. Have you watched wrestling in the last 20 years, mate? They die at an alarming rate.
It's because of all the additives they put in their own body.
There was a
I
moment...
think Steamboat should have won this match. Jericho didn't need to go over at this point, did he?
No, I think there's you can't know how good Steamboat is actually going to be until like he go.
Yeah.
And B, it doesn't make sense. The only way it makes sense is if Jericho gets his heat back off Mickey Rourke, and he's definitely not getting his heat back off Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, that's true. Because Mickey Rourke should be in the Hall of Fame for the wrestler. What the hell was that off Colonel Sanders on row one then?
Yeah, there was a guy on row one standing up with a multicoloured shirt. Quite possibly, and at the very least, it pushes Jimmy Snooker's outfit up one in terms of the worst dress in the entire arena at this point.
Does look like Colonel Sanders though, doesn't it? Finger licking good.
His shirt is anything but.
Look at the crowd. The crowd would have popped then if it had pinned him. Oh, a good shot to the kidneys. No one does that anymore, do they?
Code breaker, that should be that. I think that is that.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, here we go. Ric Flair is got the shirt off. Does this doesn't count as anything, does it?
No, this is just an old man attacking someone in the ring. That's all this is.
Chris Jericho attacking Ric Flair.
Yeah. 18 chop blocks a quick strut, and this is good. He sells his code breaker well in a minute, if I remember correctly. He sells that sells that like a boss.
Yeah. Ric Flair bumping in a button-up shirt and dress pants with probably not quite as expensive shoes as he was wearing back in WCW, but I imagine the most expensive shoes, certainly that I'll ever see. Does he get on the mic? Is that how...
I think he calls him out, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to pick on the crowd again, but that guy in the coloured shirt looks awfully like up like 4 seats down, the guy in the grey shirt.
Basically, what you're saying is WrestleMania 36 should be crowd versus crowd.
Do you know either of those UFC fighters?
I should know, but I don't.
He was a boxer.
He's just fucking give him two fingers. Mickey Rourke with all the fucking enthusiasm and delight of someone that definitely wants to be at this event.
No wonder he didn't win an Oscar. He's acting shit.
Yeah. You got 4 lads on the front row who...
A lot of meatheads.
Yeah. Let's put it this way, they would not be at this event were they not paid to be at this event.
Good point. We've got affliction shirts on. That's Jerry Lawler's brand of clothing, isn't it?
Yeah, he doesn't own them. He's got like a certain large amount of stock in them, definitely. I will give him credit for this idea that like if Mickey Rourke's in a jump the barrier, he needs to like hand off his juror.
Don't tell him not to do it. You're fighters, you should be telling him
to do it.
Yeah? Pussies. No wonder the UFC's fake.
Also as well, Mickey Rourke, man. He took one look at that barricade and thought, fuck that, I'm walking round.
He's got the enthusiasm of a cricket here, isn't he?
I know he's not the kind of guy that is full of vigour, shall we say, in normal sort of circumstances, but this is dragging on a bit too. This is the reason, forget Kid Rock, there's this.
So we've had 3 things drag it out so far. Kid Rock, Santina, and this. Who the hell wears a leather... Is it leather?
Yes.
Who the hell wears a leather vest? I know it was 10 years ago, it still wasn't in fashion, was it?
Jericho took one look at that and went, I'm fucking storing that for later.
Oh, look at a mark on row on the We Hate Cena shirt.
Definitely. Mickey Rourke's looking at that shirt going, still not as bad as his vest. In fact, actually, Jimmy Snooker might be rising up the clothing ranks at this point. At least he's got someone.
I'll give him his dues. The Wrestler was a good film.
It's a great film. You seen Iron Man 2?
I have, yes. I have.
Yeah. I can't look at Mickey Rourke without going, "Where is my bird?" Still not in the ring yet, by the way. Jimmy Snooker's looking at this going, "Fucking hell, lad, while we're young." I do remember the tease of this at the time being like, "Oh man, they're actually going to fight. Forget what happened. This is the fight now."
Yeah.
Because the match itself was quite quick.
This is a real punch, wasn't it? Jericho told him to hit him as hard as you can.
I think you can. There are certain guys that like you probably shouldn't tell to do a worked punch.
Yeah.
It's sort of easier to tell them to do a full-on punch.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the cross-section of guys that you really don't want to take a full-on punch from, Mickey Rourke is like quite hard on that list.
Michaels took one from Tyson, though, didn't he?
Mayweather and Big Show as well.
Oh, that was with brass knucks as well, wasn't it? At the end of the match.
No, I mean the one that set that match up.
The breaking of the nose.
Yeah. I might have this story slightly wrong, but I think it was the effect of, basically he said, do it, and then get as far away from me as possible, because I'm going to try, if I get my hands on you, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what it looks like as well when
it
you
does,
see
it does, alright.
Doesn't drop him, does it?
Jericho?
Yeah.
Yeah, he drops it. Oh, I don't know if it's a work or not, but it does drop him.
Also, as well, you're talking about worked and shoot punches. When Jericho clocked Shawn Michaels' misses.
Yeah, that was good, that was.
That made the feud.
Yeah, it was good.
I've just seen it now, and it's generous from Jericho as well. So maybe it was like a bit more forceful than it looked, but Ric Flair coming in, steal all the heat from Mickey Rourke. I'm used to watching Ric Flair from like the WCW era. I expect him to turn on Mickey Rourke any second.
Quick chop line.
Yeah. I'd have sold that. I'd have been fine with that.
I'd have sold that.
That would have been a great end to the storyline. Right then, next up, a match that if it took place in maybe like 2017, maybe, under different circumstances, would have been very much different to this. At the time, it was what a match this could be, Matt versus Jeff Hardy. The hype around it was real, and it's a feud going in, two brothers, classic sort of wrestling storyline. Unfortunately, the way it delivered it didn't even look like they'd met each other before, let alone they were brothers.
Yeah, they've been tagging with each other for, 10 years before this?
They're back
Probably
up.
longer than that.
Yeah,
they were kids, since we were kids. I do like that paper title that Matt Hardy keeps getting out on the net.
It's just, I don't think it could have quite met though. You've seen like what they did in TLC matches, what they did as a tag team, and you just thought, oh man, this is going to be one of the best matches we could possibly see. And it just didn't work out that way. Although I will say, in the early exchanges, some of these shots are a lot stiffer than I remember.
Well, this is a proper blood feud, wasn't it? Because didn't he kill his dog? Didn't Matt kill his dog? Man, he should have been jailed for that. Never mind having a wrestling match. Jailed for animal cruelty. Then he ran him off the road. That's attempted murder. 2 felonies. And the Yanks ain't very good at cracking their crimes in, are they?
That's because he was already broken. And after that shot where he's just put a bin over him and then hit him with the crutch, I'm not surprised he's broken. Jeff Hardy's just making life harder for him in years to come.
Wouldn't it be funny if he hit that bin that hard, it got crushed him inside and he couldn't get out for the
But Matt Hardy was like moulded into the bin.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's one of these ones with Matt Hardy. It's always been up until before the whole broken Matt Hardy stuff was just, he's got a lot of the characteristics of a top guy, but he's never going to be one. Like the Edge and Lita stuff, that sort of...
It's just charisma, isn't it?
Well, obviously it wasn't, because he can.
No, back then I just think he talked a bit funny and angry and slower, and I don't think he had the charisma he's had recently.
It's a different kind of charisma as well in terms of... You see when Bray Wyatt first started doing his promos?
Yeah.
And it was all sort of revolutionary. And now you watch him talk now, and I know he hasn't been on TV for God knows how long, it's just like, man, this is just gibberish now. Whereas if... One of the other things about...
That would help if he won a feud here or there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if Matt Hardy kept doing the broken stuff, that is one thing that would happen eventually.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. If you look at these two, Jeff Hardy doesn't even need to say anything. And he's just got charisma, you can tell. The crowd love him. Pretty boy women love him. Kids love him. Whereas Matt's just a good wrestler.
He's a good wrestler, yeah.
Yeah, but he's not got the intensity that someone like Bret Hart or Benoit had.
No, I think what it is because when you've got like a straight up wrestler like Matt Hardy, I don't think it helps having them next to a Jeff Hardy. Even though the brothers obviously, so you're going to pay them off more often than not. And what works for them in a tag team style is, or what works in tag teams in general is like sort of, not quite opposites, because I don't think they're that far apart, but definitely a discernible difference. And Matt was the guy who would do the wrestling stuff, and then Jeff Hardy would do okay, I'm going to kill him at the end of it.
Yeah. Oh, this match is basically a street fight, isn't it? It's a hardcore match.
They get straight into it. There's no messing around either. Yeah. There's no fucking Randy Orton rest hold straight in the middle of this. I'll tell you that. No.
Do you remember the end to this feud?
No.
I can't remember if it was the pay-per-view, the next one, Backlash, or the one after. And basically, it was an I Quit match. And the table was in the ring. Jeff Hardy put Matt Hardy on the table and started wrapping some tape around him. And I'm sure it was like, you know the cassette tape, the old videotapes? It looked like that, whatever that is. And he just wrapped it round him, and went to jump off the top rope, and Matt Hardy, I quit, I'm sorry.
Jeez.
That's not on, man.
Basically, what you should have done is you should have gone into the lake of reincarnation, got something on fire, get some fireworks, get Senor Benjamin. By the way, who I did not know was Robbie Sky's dad. Until recently.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I remember this spot.
2 tables stacked on top of each other, Matt Hardy in the middle of them. Has he got a chair on top of him for pointless reasons? It's a good spot.
Flying splash.
Yeah.
Who breaks the top table, doesn't hit the second one, and hits the floor.
It's weird though, the second table looks absolutely demolished. The first table conveniently cut down the middle.
This match isn't that long really, is it?
No, even watching it again is a strange sense of like, it's probably better than I thought it was actually.
I've forgotten how brutal the match was.
Yeah. Do you know what, that's a really weird comment to make actually, because one of the complaints I had in person about it was that I didn't think the action matched the feud. Whereas I'm watching it now going, man, Jeff Hardy looks like he's trying to kill him.
Now the logic non-wrestling side to me thinks, why have you just set up a 20-foot ladder next to an 18-foot one?
You climb the 18 to get onto the 20.
Leapfrog it. Why don't you just climb up to the top of the 20-foot one and jump off? Good spot. And I don't know how much a leg drop from 25 foot hurts your coccyx, but I imagine that hurt.
Man, he's got no coccyx, I'll tell you what after that.
Do you remember the end of this?
Yes, I do. As you were about to ask me, it occurred to me, and I know he made a comment before about like the devastation of this match and how it matched what was going on storyline wise, but I do remember popping at the end.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing you can kind of only really ask your brother to do.
Yeah, you wouldn't trust many people to that.
No. Oh man, I'm telling you, even just watching it back again, it is sickening. That twist of fate onto the chair. It's a good finish to what was a better match than I thought at the time.
Yes.
And probably a better match than people deserve. There's certainly those two deserved, but the thing is that, like you say, the feud was not exactly hitting the heights that you would have expected, given it's those two. I think maybe it might be one of the first instances, and we see this a lot with matches at WrestleMania now, where expectations were slightly too high.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be, yeah. I thought that match was good. The feud, no. Brutality of it, I thought it was pretty good looking back. I get 3.5 stars.
The first star rating of the evening. Unfortunately, what it does is it sets us up for Matt and Jeff Hardy having some more bullshit antics in TNA, which is like much better than this.
That didn't lead to anywhere, did it?
No, definitely not.
Oh man, what have we got here? This was ass, this was.
Yeah.
This was needless, pointless and ass.
Speaking of which, remember I mentioned to you earlier about the Go Home Raw to this pay-per-view? On the Go Home Raw to this pay-per-view, Rey Mysterio beat JBL in 6 minutes.
Really?
Non-title match.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What was the reason for this? Because this didn't make any sense to me at the time.
It still doesn't, but it's kind of set a precedent. If you haven't quite guessed following along, because, you know, it's JBL, Rey Mysterio. JBL comes out cutting a promo. I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't really that asked about this match going in anyway, and I was quite relieved that it was what it was. Right. Surprised.
Mysterio don't generally put on a bad match, does he?
No, but...
And this guy couldn't fit his limo in the...
That's true.
In the arena. Wow, I'm loving all the stocks and shares in the background. It's brilliant. I know they made up companies and things like that. It's brilliant.
You say that, I missed the JBL's money when he actually won the title. But I think you can get it on eBay, I'm not sure. But no, I think it goes back to this idea, and we'll get into this more when it's more relevant, but this feud was kind of thrown together a little bit, like JBL coming off the back of like a feud ender with someone who's yet to appear on this pay-per-view, yet at No Way Out. And so this is kind of just thrown together at the time, and...
Yeah.
I don't mind. I think basically this match is remembered not even so much for how short it was, but for one comment that commentary is going to make in a second. this is the setup basically. Rey Mysterio's come out, and it's a lot better actual Joker representation than I remember. Basically, Finn Balor was to be watched at home going, dressing up as comic book characters. This seems like something I could get on board with.
And then he's forgot to do it for the past 2 years.
Yeah, well, yeah. He's got a lot on his plate, you know. He's got to like clean the dishes, get the groceries in.
Gotta tighten up them abs.
Yeah, his abs are a disgrace.
Gotta make sure he stretches his legs a bit more before the camera pans across his midriff.
And speaking of disgraces, this is the... Oh my God, this is horrible. The commentary making the...
I think that Ray's version is alive and well, King.
In response to Ray as Heath Ledger, that is the comment that was made. Wow, you've done well there, lads.
Yeah.
Boy, next time you try and piss on someone's grave, why don't you take a big dump as well?
Don't worry, I've done that before.
Yeah, well, and since. Yeah, why not? To be honest with you, we could actually do this match like in fucking time, second by second, because it was 30 odd seconds?
Something like that. I don't understand what the thinking behind this was. I know JBL obviously wanted to retire, but why did he want to retire like this?
I don't mind that so much. There you go, Owen Coyle is God, finally.
Owen Coyle is God.
Yeah. Having actually managed to see this close up, because as I said, I never watched his pay-per-view back, I appreciate Rey Mysterio's makeup work on the sort of smile, as it were.
Do you know how he got those scars?
What, Rey Mysterio?
Yeah.
WCW?
Yeah, probably that Mask versus Kevin Nash match, really.
Jeez. That would have been a lot worse if in the film The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger says, do you want to know how I got those scars? And then Kevin Nash appears.
He didn't actually want to do that match, did he, Mysterio?
There was no point, really.
There was no point. Kevin Nash cut his hair about 3 years later as well. That's on his own accord.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe not 3 years later, a bit longer, but...
I take the piss out of Vince McMahon, but the idea like, oh man, there's no money in Rey Mysterio masks. Jeez, I forgot about the fucking absolute bro kick to start this. And then that's literally it, like, so, push over, kick, 619.
Yeah, 619, a bit of a splash.
Yeah, I always hated the 619 as a signature move. I liked it when he did it just randomly during matches.
Yeah. I don't know, he's got to have something though, isn't he? Because, like, what was his other finisher?
That one, like, dropping the dime. No, he had the splash off the top like that, and then he did the drop in a dime, which is like the springboard, but I don't think that was ever a finisher. So, and Rey Mysterio wins in like a hot cup of coffee, but at the same time, I don't really remember him ever doing anything with this belt. Much like many people before or since.
Yeah. Man, that belt's as big as his head, man. It was one tiny man in it.
Or one big belt, you never know.
One big belt, yeah, it could be.
That belt's actually 5 foot tall. Right, then this is what you're here for. The only match of this card that's worth going, and to be honest with you, there is a part of me that wishes we could do this some way to like retcon what WWE did while having this go on last, but we're going to talk about it in order. It's Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, the greatest match of all time.
I agree, completely agree. The crowd were literally half and half, weren't they? I don't think you can hear it properly on the commentary, on the audio, but I think it was quite loud around us, wasn't it? Half and half.
I lost my voice during this match.
Yeah, it was a great match. Here's a question for you: is this match the start of the false finish WrestleMania thing?
No, Rock and Austin did that all the time.
It was only one match here. Okay, so there's been a gap of 8 years. I don't recall false finishes in...
Maybe not quite to this degree.
Yeah, it kicked out about 18 tombstone hydros, didn't it?
I think the thing about this match which really helps is we mentioned about Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy earlier, the idea of what it has an expectation of in the mind is that, like, I remember going into this thinking this will be good, but I wasn't really that arsed about it.
I was, because if we got the original plan that I thought was going to happen, where Shawn Michaels was working for JBL, and it was going to
this is what I mentioned about JBL and Rey Mysterio, because it was so sudden, it was so weird, it just didn't make sense.
No, and then he had to beat Kozlov to get out of his contract, didn't he? Because Shawn Michaels was in hard times.
That was, I believe that part of the storyline, to be honest. A wrestler needing some money, oh my God.
The Undertaker's still in his streak at this point. Was he 16-0 before this match?
Yes.
This was 17, wasn't it?
Yes. I mentioned at the start of the podcast, we talked about the idea of spoilers and being on social media. This was spoiled beforehand though, wasn't it?
I don't remember it.
Wasn't the shirts with 17-0 like going around?
There might have been. But it could have been like that sign I found outside WrestleMania. Remember, we went back, I can't remember why. Oh, we had to go to the tram station, didn't we? Which is through the Reliance Stadium where all that was.
Yeah.
And the next day, all the rubbish, they cleaned it up in the stadium, all the rubbish over the road is still on the floor. And I found a sign on the floor that said, Undertaker 17-0. I picked it up, and on the back it said, Shawn Michaels breaks the streak.
That's quality. That's the kind of... That is what we need from wrestling fans. That's great.
So we have both angles covered.
I like it. I think once I will say about this match is that, like, going in, and also as well, like, the whole Houston thing as well, which we'll get on to what happens with the crowd afterwards, but going in I had a certain idea of what it would be like, and it'd be good, and I wasn't as big of a Shawn Michaels mark then as I am now. I think Shawn's the best of all time. I really do. I've said it before on this podcast, I'll say it again. He's had 2 distinct careers, and if he'd had either one of them, one of them's a Hall of Fame career, both of them, now you're right.
He's had 3, hasn't he, really? So you can count the Rockers as a separate thing.
I'd say everything up until the losing the smile, and then everything after.
Okay, I'd separate out the Rockers, because he wasn't really the same gimmick. Yeah, Rockers, then he went Heartbreak Kid. That's a separate streak, and then he came back as him and his friend, God. Vince McMahon happened to... which was completely disgraceful, by the way. Yeah.
But the rest of WrestleMania, this whole thing of it, which is sort of been attempted to have been copied by a few people since, Dolph Ziggler. Michaels made it work because it was the idea of he was such an egotistical bastard that you believed that he would put on the best match at WrestleMania and he would beat you. It wasn't just putting the best match at WrestleMania on. It was about beating you as well. And he got obsessed about beating the Undertaker.
Yeah.
But back to my point, when Shawn Michaels comes out with that fucking entrance, that was when I was like, oh shit, this is for real. This is it now.
So when he came down like the guy from heaven, Taker came out the floor like he was a demon. Yeah. That was good.
I know we mentioned this, and it'll play a part into the rest of this pay-per-view. Not just how good the match was, but obviously where it is. I don't think either of us could have seen how big, and it's obvious to say now because WWE didn't even see it, but how over this match was in Houston.
Well, both guys from Texas, aren't they? Yeah. I think Texas is... sorry. I think Texas has got the same attitude as Yorkshire. Yeah, no matter where you're from in Yorkshire, if you know someone, Yorkshire, that chant. I think Texas has got the same attitude as Yorkshire.
I just want to see the Undertaker do rest in peace in a Yorkshire accent.
Hey up, rest in... I can't even do it.
Rest in peace.
Hey up, mate. Rest in peace. Fly away, Kez.
Jeez. Man, if Undertaker had Kez, he would have been talking about, like, gimmicks.
Paul Bearer's got nothing on Kez.
Definitely.
Oh dear. That's one of my biggest regrets about that access at WrestleMania 28. That we didn't get a picture with Paul Bearer because we were 10 seconds too late. That really bothers me to this day. Oh, mate.
Yeah, there's certain...
I should have offered that guy some money.
No, yeah, you say that. The other thing is about access as well, but, like, it wasn't as big of a deal up until about this year. It's probably a bigger deal on 24, but, like, access has become a huge part of WrestleMania and WrestleMania weekend.
And Royal Rumble, I don't want for SummerSlam now.
Yeah. But one of the things that when we went there, you're saying about Paul Bearer, definitely, is the idea of, like, we could have done commentary.
Ah, that was amazing. It wasn't with, like, they put you in front of a screen and you commentate. You were sat with JR or Booker T or someone.
I think it was JR and Josh Matthews. I could be wrong.
I know. I wish I'd have paid the extra to do that. Though. Yeah. That would have been.
Well, no. The thing is that, like, at the time, you're saying about, like, what we could have done is just blagged the idea of, like, go up to someone, offer them a few quid for their VLP thing for 5 minutes, and then go do it, and then give them their VLP thing back.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
Did we go into Hell in a Cell as well? I should have scaled the cage and jumped off.
Basically, you should have just challenged the Undertaker there and then. You could have killed the streak before Shawn Michaels even had a chance.
You'd have caught us at the bottom, wouldn't you?
But I've done a better job than Sim Snocker, I'll tell you that. Definitely.
I'd have moved out the way if you jumped up to me. I don't want anyone hitting me. That was Sim Snocker's attitude as well.
Yeah. He very much knew what he was doing at that point.
This match, I thought, live, I've seen this match a few times, but live, I thought the match, the first 20 minutes was, I don't know timing wise, but the first half of the match was slow. And then they did the dive out the ring. And by the way, everyone, because Undertaker nearly died, because he landed his head from 15 foot, Everyone forgets the moonsault that Shawn Michaels did 3 minutes earlier. Do you remember?
This is my memories of this match are resigned to quite simply I don't think this happens very much. The idea of getting drawn into a match.
Yeah, that's true though.
Because, and I think it helps watching it in the arena itself. But like people who've just watched it on TV have said that like this brings you along with it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That was a great recovery from Michaels. Michaels went to super kick him. Taker went to sell it. Michaels pulled out, so he couldn't have. He was already on the floor, and Michaels just put him in a figure four leg lock.
I thought.
Average wrestlers wouldn't think on the fly and do that.
Yeah, no, it's funny you say that, because I thought that was quite clever from The Undertaker, because I thought it was intentional.
Oh, okay.
From him trying to get out of the way and switching music.
There we go. But anyway, it might be around now, but Shawn Michaels climbs up to the top rope while The Undertaker's on the outside and goes to moonsault, and The Undertaker moves out of the way, and Shawn Michaels just hits the floor. No one catches him.
Also, I think it's worth saying as well, and I know this is 10 years ago, so I'm not trying to say anything about The Undertaker that is disrespectful, but what fucking shape is in?
Taker?
Yeah.
He's good. You are in good shape.
Yeah,
he's in good shape. Yeah.
It's unbelievable, almost unrecognisable, but then the fact of the matter is you have to just think about the fact that it's 10 years ago.
Yeah. It's like he's had a couple of Mars bars since, didn't it?
One or two,
and a couple of Lone Star beers.
Yes. He was in that pool hall in Houston.
Man, that was good, that was.
I enjoyed it. I like the fact that we were on a plane flying from, was it London, Heathrow?
We went from Heathrow directly to Houston, didn't we?
Heathrow to Houston, and there were these couple of jobbers, wrestling marks, terrible wrestling fans.
Hate wrestling fans.
Yes. And they
were.
were.
If you all listen to the podcast more.
And they were sat like opposite us on the other side of the plane. We get to the first bar we go to in Houston, and they're fucking in there as well.
Sat right next to us. How big's Houston? Big.
Yes.
Big place. That's because it was the only bar that was open in 3 Mile.
Man, just because there was a clothing shop that turned into a nightclub at night.
We should have gone there.
Defo?
That was definitely a nightclub, wasn't it?
All I'll say is Houston has a reputation for being one of those kind of places. That is quite bad, actually. There's that moonsault you're talking about.
That's the one. That's ridiculous. He literally jumped, not knowing where he's going to hit the floor, and the Undertaker moved.
I like the fact that he's holding his hand as well, because I feel like a lot more things happen there, to be honest.
I think no wonder Michaels pulled Sim Snooker out of the way for the next one.
Yeah, it wasn't Sim Snooker at all. It's just like, have some of this, you bastards.
You drop me, I'll drop you. Yeah, that close shot, man. We should have just crashed it, walked in and gone,
this is a nightclub now.
I'm English.
I did that on the Metro at one point. It didn't go down well.
Oh, yeah, that was bad, that was it.
Yeah. Story ends there.
Here we go. Here's the famous drop on the head. So the Undertaker jumps over the top of the rope. Sim Snooker.
Mate, the Undertaker's eyes.
I actually blame Shawn Michaels for that.
I need to see this again on a replay.
Shawn Michaels should have pulled him more. I remember, I can't really see properly because Michaels was on the floor. I was watching the screen, so I saw that from that camera angle. I wasn't watching it live because I couldn't see him at the floor.
Yeah, we were on the other side where we were sitting.
I remember watching that on camera and turning to you, he's just died here. That's the end of the match.
There was a feeling around us that like this could actually be the finish.
Well, I thought it was. When I get back in the ring, I think he toe slams him straight away, doesn't he? Or choke slams him, one of them. I thought that was it. I also was hoping, I specifically remember, I was also hoping that Shawn Michaels climbed back into the ring with the referee and counted the Undertaker. Yeah. And the end of the streak was a count out.
We were very desperate to see the Undertaker. Oh my God, that's horrendous.
That's Michael's fault. You should have put
No, I'm sorry. I've seen it again. That's really bad.
And just because you're anti-Samoan.
I think the problem you've got is, from Sim Snooker's vantage, it's this idea of you've got this big camera that's like obviously there to try and mask you as a cameraman.
Yeah.
And the split secondness with which you've got to drop that camera and pick up the Undertaker.
It is hard.
Yeah. But no, we were just joking about this before I saw the replay of that absolute bullshit. The idea of we were very much of the opinion of we wanted to see the Undertaker lose his streak. The best part about being there for the streak being beaten, potentially at this point, was that the more bullshit the finish, the better it would be for us.
Yeah, that's true.
So if it was for Cat Out, that would have been amazing. Everyone watching at home would have been furious, but we'd have been like, yes.
Bloody hell, that's bad looking back.
You can tell how bad that is because the camera angle they show on the second replay doesn't even get near them.
I'd like to know how they communicated this because the referee's not spoken to The Undertaker. Michaels has just dragged him back into the ring to tell him to count him out. Why if The Undertaker genuinely couldn't get up?
I do feel like if he couldn't get up at about like 8, Michaels would go out and get him.
Fair point, actually. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Although,
Here's my question, like, what's the name of this ref again?
I don't know who this is. I was just thinking that when he got in the ring. I don't know who this is.
He looked vaguely familiar to me, but his name escapes me massively. And I did think that he got taken out and someone replaced him, but evidently not. Wasn't like...
I thought Charles Robinson ref this before the start, to be honest.
I thought Mike Chioda ref this.
Mike Chioda was saved for the main event. No, I don't know. I don't know who ref the main event.
I gotta say, like, you talk about bullshit victories, by the way. The pop for The Undertaker getting in the ring from a count out. That gives you an idea of how the crowd reaction of this match is going to go from here on in.
Yeah.
Because people don't pop for count outs.
No. This is when the match kicked off to me. The referee was Marty Elias.
I knew his name rang a bell, yeah.
See, I thought this was the end of the match because The Undertaker was genuinely hurt.
I've got to say, there's some good height on that chokeslam as well.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels should have...
That is a slow count, I've got to say.
Yeah, the referee's injured as well.
Oh, yeah, true.
He does look a bit dazed and out of it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He looks gone. He looks like me after 10 pints.
That's a Lone Star bit.
He had a couple before he come out.
Yeah, why not? John Cena's got precedent of like drinking in the crowd before he goes in to fight the Undertaker. That's where John Cena got the idea from. He knew the Undertaker was pissed.
The crowd, you can see the crowd started piping up.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is that like I don't remember even at this point being like, oh, okay, this is the finish. When you get so many false finishes, you'd like everyone is the finish.
Yeah. And those are the days, weren't they? Sorry, just looking in the background.
What, were you actually believed?
No, there were only 2 commentary tables.
Oh.
There were no pesky Germans or French like.
Well, you know the Brexit commentary team.
It is false finish after false finish after all this. It's brilliant.
Well, I'm fine with it.
I'm happy with this.
The other thing as well is that look, if this bothered me before 25, so it was good for me to be there purely on the basis of. And I know JR's on commentary in this, and it was really good.
It was Michael Cole, wasn't it?
It was always, the streak is over, the streak is over. And you'd be like watching, and you'd be like, no, it's not.
Yeah, he did my head in.
Whereas when you're watching it without commentary, you don't have that, so you do feel the impact of the finishes more.
Yeah. Oh, that guy on row 1's like Sanders is right back up with his shirt.
The flamboyant shirt man is there for it.
He'd be doing my head in on row 1. Like, you've got the best seat in the house. You don't need to stand up. Sit down.
Yeah.
That guy is that guy got a calf shirt on?
Yeah.
He's there at every WrestleMania if you have a look.
I think I just saw Red Cap as well.
What happened to Red Cap?
His season ticket expired.
He was getting too over with the boys.
Yeah, they had to swap him out from Brock Lesnar. Goal. I hate fans that have their own gimmicks. I'm not gonna lie. Red Cap was acceptable.
I know a Brock Lesnar fan got called out on Twitter the other week. That was great. He shouldn't be stealing memes. Meme thief.
Which is in itself a gimmick.
I don't know. Would you not like to be the Brock Lesnar guy and get the attention he gets?
Yeah, but I just feel like there's too much in wrestling these days. They're like crowds trying to get themselves over. So I don't need actual individual members of the crowd to try and get themselves over.
Don't we try and get ourselves over at Kamikaze?
Yeah, well, that's me getting over. I don't care. I'm one of those scumbags. That's the other good thing about this match that I just realised as well. And this isn't just because I'm fully on board that, whoa, that looks bad. That looks really bad. Skinning the cat and nearly hanging yourself.
Skinning the cat into a tombstone. That is quality.
But though this is one of the reasons why this match really works, is that like in terms of like expressions, Shawn Michaels is really good at it, but Undertaker's really good at it in these circumstances.
Yeah. This is a bit everyone remembers, isn't it? When he kicks out that
this face.
And the
That's
face.
exactly what I mean.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's one of the images of this entire feud, isn't it?
It's funny actually, if you got like a side-by-side picture of Undertaker's face like that, and then that guy whose face everyone remembers from when the Undertaker streak was beaten, like they're basically the same face.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That was a good moment though.
Yeah. The streak being beaten was, at that point, I didn't think it would ever happen. Even at this point, like 25, it's like, okay, it's probably never going to happen.
That's true. The Brock Lesnar match was actually garbage. I thought it was garbage up until that point.
Didn't really watch it. Wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
Was actually, if you consult the official CCTV footage, I was slightly inebriated and having my own wrestling match in the corner. Here's a question for you. Do you think that like this run of Undertaker matches made the streak more valuable? Not the WWE, but just the idea that like someone would properly get the value out of breaking it because the matches kept getting better and better to a certain point. There was a couple of good matches before this as well. Edge and Batista.
Orton was there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What was Orton? 21? 22,
so,
23,
yeah.
something like that.
Orton would have been my guy as well to break it at the time.
I think, yeah.
Well, no, really
I think Orton should have cracked it instead of Lesnar's a bloody. I'm not info. Lesnar's a megastar, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think he should have the title still.
Well, if I'm being perfectly honest, in terms of like if you're booking the streak being broken, it should have been don't put Edge in the Money in Bank ladder match and have streak versus streak when they fight each other.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's true.
Because
he's not going to go over anyway, will he? So don't you?
I'm like, yeah, just streak versus streak makes more money, but I just feel like the only way a streak works in terms of, for me, breaking it would have been, no, Edge has got the streak gimmick.
Yeah.
And then someone beats Edge later on. Unfortunately, Edge's career was over, so they probably made the right call.
Yeah. No one will ever rival the streak again because everyone's looking at it from the off now. The first 8-9 matches, no one really cared that the Undertaker hadn't been beat. No one knew.
It was the first time he fought Triple H where everyone was bothered.
That's 17, wasn't it? That's only because he stood there and went like that and did the 10 symbol on his hand. I didn't even know he was undefeated at that point. That's when it started.
Well, this is a thing whereby you get someone who's got a bit of a run going without necessarily having the hype around it. Not now. It doesn't matter now because...
Of course, everybody's an equal superstar.
Yeah, 50-50 booking is fantastic.
Excellent news.
Yes. Jeez. But what I mean is that, like, say if Undertaker's matches around this period of time were like, a less of a standard, I don't think the streak means as much to WWE because the streak was arguably as big as a title match at one point.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, and there even were a couple of title matches in there.
Even up until the Punk thing.
Yeah.
I listened to that Punk podcast with Colt Cabana, and he says the main event's the main event, and I don't agree with that. The main event, you wrestled The Undertaker. I know, he was moaning about his pay. That's fair, he should get the same pay and all that. But
if you're fighting The Undertaker in the main event, two jobbers, then fair enough. But the main event wasn't two jobbers. And he'd done enough to be in that main event. That's all I saw. He tried to kill himself in that match.
Okay, yeah, he did. No, it was great. I'm not knocking the match itself.
No, I mean, what I mean is that, like...
But that was the main event.
Yeah.
To me. To me, it was the main event. I didn't want to watch Rock and Cena again.
I think that should have been a triple threat. What I'm saying to you is that in terms of Undertaker's standing, in terms of Undertaker's streak, if these matches in this period hadn't been as good, would they have just let him keep it? Bear in mind, we're in an era. It's easy to say now that it's been broken, but we're in an era now where, like, in this. When I say now, I mean 25 watching this pay per view, where it's like it's never going to be broken. Just accept the fact it's never going to be broken. So if the matches are a bit shit, let's just let him go out with the streak. That's what I mean.
Oh, I see what you say. I agree with that. But
the matches were really good. It elevated the streak. It made it seem more important. It made everything seem better. So the idea
of football, isn't it? If you play garbage football and won all 38 games, you win the league, and no one would ever remember the performance.
Yeah.
All anyone remembers is winning 38 games, and all anyone knows, their first few matches against Nash, garbage. Sid, garbage.
Giant Gonzalez, less than garbage.
I'm not counting that as garbage.
Oh. So highlight of the night.
In fact, Giant Gonzalez got the closest to beating the streak because he never got pinned. He got chloroformed with DQ. That was the closest anyone got.
Man, maybe Shawn Michaels should have won by count. But it's because it became a thing at this point.
Yeah.
Like, Undertaker's not old, and we mentioned like the shape he's in at this point.
Yeah.
But when we were there, we thought he was old. We thought he wasn't necessarily quite at the same speed as he used to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the Undertaker's great strengths, and also slight weaknesses at this era, is that, like, he's stronger than you think he is, and he's got more to give than you think. But at the same time, especially when you're working a reduced schedule of one match a year, still more than The Rock, then you maybe...
I don't know, they got 2 shows in Dubai coming. Sorry, Saudi Arabia coming. It might be wrestling twice this year.
Jeez. But what I mean is that, like, because he can keep doing it, you don't necessarily know when to stop it.
This is closing in now, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the end, actually, isn't it? Moonsault into...
Tombstone.
Yeah. Not as good as the jumpy tombstone from the year after.
You've got to understand it. It's like when John Cena does a nephew from the top rope.
I'm waiting for a tombstone off the top rope. Onto the floor outside. That was a great match.
I wonder at what point that guy held the sign off for like Michael's broke the street to 17 now. I wonder at what point he switched it around.
Well, when he got to the top rope for the moonsault, he actually held Sean Paul.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
It was probably that one. I wish I'd kept that looking back.
That's a great, yeah. I think the thing that needs to be pointed out at this point that you don't necessarily catch watching this on the network or watching this back is that immediately after this match, you could tell in the arena everyone was done.
Yeah, it was like an emotionally draining match, wasn't it?
I said before, my voice was gone.
Yeah.
I couldn't chant to this next match, even if I wanted to.
Yeah.
There were people at the start of this next contest, the triple threat for the world title, Edge, John Cena, Big Show, and I actually have more respect for this match. And I've never seen it since, but I have a lot of respect for this match based on the fact that there were people heading to the exits at this point.
Yeah, that's true. I don't understand that, to be honest.
No, I neither do.
So that's the first time you watch that match back in 10 years. What do you think of it?
It's still amazing because every time I see moments like that Undertaker dive, the Sweet Chin music, the tombstone, every time I see all of it back, it takes me back to that moment where I was just going, fucking hell, this match. And talking about crowd reaction and talking about, oh my god, there's some bullshit going on in this match, but like, I'm going to link this seamlessly, so bear with me. Talking about crowd reactions, the guy next to us, to our immediate right, when this match started, in fact, I'm not even sure if he'd said it at any point previously, but he made his opinions known about John Cena very quickly. And then, basically, we noticed that he was giving it the, fuck you, John Cena, I hate you. And he had a John Cena shirt in his bag, for his kids, I'm assuming.
Perhaps he was like those people that like cross-dress in their own house but don't like it. Perhaps he was really a massive John Cena fan.
Sadomasochistic John Cena fan. But that summed it up for me, this whole era of John Cena being the biggest scumbag on the planet, was that like, you can't call him a dickhead and then buy his merch.
Do I remember this correctly? Was this the same chap that had his mobile phone just tipping out his pocket? And
he was probably streaming the event.
We thought he was streaming it.
Yeah, from fucking, oh man. Speaking of fucking this,
I forgot about it.
This is probably the last time Cena did a really good entrance.
Yeah, it probably is actually, yeah.
I marked the fucking, forget Undertaker Shawn Michaels, I had no voice left. This is what I had left.
This was good. Didn't he go to basic fucking noise?
Yeah. And then he actually like did his music when he ran out, I think.
This was amazing.
I missed the John Cena WrestleMania entrance, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Now Triple H gets all the good entrances. Because he needs them.
Well, you mean the same entrance, but maybe add Stephanie to it?
That's alright,
Yeah.
That's alright.
As long as it's not the Terminator.
I think that was one of the better entrances.
He should have been made to wrestle in that Terminator gear, that's all I'll say.
Arnie should have come out and helped him when Sting was in the...
Had
him in the Scorpion there.
Yeah, forget Ric Flair coming out, he should have been Terminator. Man, RoboCop comes out to defend WCW. Jeez.
Oh, they were some strong bars.
So yeah, John Cena, like, in this era, the fact of, there's a few things that go on here. Edge coming out first, it was such an afterthought, all this. But have you heard about what this match might / could have been, if you look up the rumours to this?
No.
Never would have happened. Never would have happened in a million years.
Okay.
But the plan supposedly, according to hashtag WWE WrestleMania 25 rumours, was Cena Hogan.
Oh, I remember that, looking back. Isn't that one of the races we thought we'd go because of that match?
Possibly, yeah.
Why didn't Hogan fight?
I'm not sure at this point because...
Hogan, your yellow belly.
Man, if Cena had come out with Mr. Fuji, that would have been great.
Mr. Fuji representing the Japanese hero, John Cena.
He's the world's hero. And apparently the way they would have done it is like, Big Show was in a program with Edge anyway, so they would have gone with Hogan and Cena, and then Edge would have fought Big Show one-on-one.
Okay.
And then there was a very brief period of time where Jericho might have fought Cena because they weren't going to get the Mickey Rourke thing done, but they decided to go in a different way, and then we get this triple threat match. And as I mentioned before, the way the crowd had made their decision en masse, I actually quite like the idea that this match kept some people going, shall we say?
Yeah. I think the idea of this match is a good idea, but do you remember the build-up?
Yeah,
I thought the build-up to this match was terrible. I hate it when they do silly stuff like that. Like, it's a soap opera.
It's such a weird thing looking back as well, because you've got Even Edge versus John Cena, I would have taken as a one-on-one. And looking back at the time, I don't remember feeling that way.
No. I think this match itself is pretty good. This is better than the main event, to me.
Just not high bar to clear.
No, although Triple H did blame everybody else, didn't he? He said they had all the hardcore stuff. It was meant to be a blood feud. They had all the hardcore stuff in the Hardys match, so they couldn't do it. The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels did the wrestling thing. These did the fast-paced thing, and that left him with nothing.
I'll save my thoughts for Triple H later, and there are many thoughts to save. One thing that even people that hate him, and I'm not sure they're prepared to sort of admit this, is that, like, even in a spot like this, whereby I imagine if you spoke to the three guys in the ring, they would have known going out there after that match.
They do, don't they? You can't follow stuff like that.
No. And I think what does happen is not just Cena, who's like known for sort of adapting to and getting big moves and big matches, but that spot right there with Edge like spearing Big Show through the barricades, that is a way to get the crowd trying to get them back.
Yeah.
And like it works to a certain degree. This, given the spot they're in, it's very unenviable, and to get them back as far as they do is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's true.
What these three guys are doing is one of these sort of ones that's lost in the ether because everyone remembers the main event, everyone remembers what went on before it. And do you think it is as simple as if Undertaker Shawn Michaels goes on last, it's not so bad? Because the fact of the matter is, there were flaws with this, as you mentioned, with like the build and that.
I think they got the card in the wrong order.
Yeah.
I think maybe they should have opened.
This?
Yeah, I think they should have opened. You can't open with Triple H or Orton. That is your main event, isn't it?
No, I agree with that, but...
And that shouldn't have gone on. I think Michaels should have gone on last, 100%.
Yeah.
Which means Triple H can't go directly before that match. I don't think. You need someone to calm the crowd down.
I agree, but this isn't an era before they did the whole, we'll have the world title match on first and on last sort of thing.
Yeah. With that massive hand.
Yes, the Big Show does have a slightly bigger hand than most people do.
Does he?
Who knows?
That
would be a bit hard to describe him as a character if it was Big Show with little hand. And every time he come out, that was his Titantron.
Bit of an innuendo there, isn't
Well,
it? Small hands, big heart.
I don't know where to go with that, to be honest with you, so I'm just going to go as far away from it as possible. I'm going to avoid that comment like Simpson avoids The Undertaker.
How far into Cena's career is this? Is he gather he's well established?
Yeah. Cena wins the title a lot slower than you think.
When did he win the title? 20... Well, I was 20, wasn't it?
21.
21? Oh, it was him and Batista on the same thing, wasn't it? So this is 4 years later.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's had a couple of good runs here.
It's longer, but Austin's run at the top is like, what, 3 years? 4 years, maybe? Probably not even that long.
Yeah.
This is the problem people have.
97 to 2001.
Yeah.
2, possibly. Edge is... It's just the feud in 2009, wasn't it? It was Edge and Cena.
Yeah.
They had a great feud. They worked well together, good chemistry and all that.
Absolutely made Edge.
Yeah, it did.
It's one of these ones where you're doing this sort of retroactive list of like who is everyone's biggest rivals. Randy Orton was supposed to be John Cena's guy. Randy Orton and John Cena were supposed to be the next generation's Rock and Austin.
Yeah.
But it never worked for one reason or another. Edge was a much better like foil for John Cena as a face.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I think the thing about this that I find really intriguing is sort of my own...
That was good.
Yeah, Big Show pushes Cena off the top rope into a spear. I think at this point the crowd is more just like, we'll just make sure Cena doesn't win.
Yeah, Cena sucks.
He doesn't, but yeah. This is the thing that I find interesting is I'm looking back and I'm thinking, I didn't want to see Edge versus Cena at the time, but now when I'm watching this match back, I'm like, why? Because every time Big Show gets involved, I'm a little bit like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah, Big Show's just been thrown in there as a big galump.
Yes. He's the big galump with the little hand.
And a big heart.
Oh, yeah. Man, these Titantrons getting bigger and bigger. He's going to need a new theme song, surely.
Is he still wrestling?
I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you.
I know he had a big beard the last time I saw him.
He might randomly make an appearance at WrestleMania 35, like chokeslamming someone. I don't know.
They should put him. He should come out before the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Just rip off Andre's head and put his on, and that's basically the same thing.
The Big Show Battle Royal?
Yeah.
With the little hand, the big heart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's all Vince did. You know, he used to wear his tights and whatnot. Vince blatantly went, yeah, Andre won this and he was a big superstar. Where's Edge?
Edge was on top of him. So that's not a botch, is it?
Botch what?
Actually, no, to be honest, it can't count as a botch because the guy can't... You can't expect a guy to pick up that amount of people.
Yeah.
I do think the finish was meant to be he FUs them both.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be like...
Big Show would have killed Edge if he'd have found him.
Yes, Edge's neck would have taken that like a lot sooner. It's one of those. It was a feat of strength that like you can go, okay, yes, maybe he couldn't pull it off, but any fucking wrestling nerd fan going, oh, you couldn't pick up the Big Show and Edge, yeah, and decent attempt at a visual, and like I say, just a decent attempt in general, given the fact of
boo this man.
That is a John Cena trope from a sign. Yeah. I feel like that sign was only held up when John Cena was in the ring.
Yeah. I think that match was better than everyone gives it credit for. I only give it a good 3 stars.
Just slightly worse than the Hardys match.
Slightly worse, yeah. After the high of the 5-star Undertaker Shawn Michaels match. Yeah.
As I said, like many people were prepared to go home, and John Cena's like going through the crowd. He needs to get to the snack stand.
I remember who he hugs here.
I don't.
It's Evander Holyfield.
Is it?
I think Evander Holyfield was at this event now. I've seen this.
It looks like he's hugging MGK at the minute.
There's Mickey Rourke's hat.
It's basically just...
Is that, I don't know who that is.
That might be his brother, because he does look a lot like him.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought. Evander Holyfield is definitely at this event now.
No, actually, no. I think that might be someone that's like moderately famous. But
okay.
Like, I'm going to get that wrong. I'm not going to lie. He looks like John Cena, but he also looks like a fucking...
Is that racing car driver, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he's a racing car driver.
No, that's not. That's a complete other guy. But no, but like what he also looks like as well. In addition to John Cena, he looks like a buckwheat Daniel Bryan.
He does, yes. That wasn't a botch, by the way. I think Edge pushed himself off.
Oh right, okay, fair enough.
No botch watch around here.
No.
Botch watchers, no.
And before we get to our main event, we got the Hall of Fame class of 2009, and I'm not gonna lie. I actually forgot pretty much everyone in this, including Austin.
I know Austin was in this one. That's the only. They're all. I don't know about Coco Beware, but they're all Texan based. Von Erich family.
Yeah. This is very much to try and get.
Coco Beware's parrot is very Texan.
Obviously, Coco Beware's parrot is from Galveston. There's no doubt about that.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Travels to Fanning South on the tube every day.
Indeed, yeah. He goes to all the baseball games at the Astros. There's no doubt. Yeah. Could be the Houston Parrots before we know. But that's the other thing is that I mentioned about like Austin being in the like headline class of this Hall of Fame. Is that there was very brief talk, and I think this was one of the other things that we were going to go to this pay-per-view, is that it was talk about him and Hogan as well.
Yeah. Dream match had never happened there.
Yeah, speaking of dream matches, that was a dream match, and we get on to one of my least favourite matches. It's not the lowest, but this match does a lot of things, but none of which it tries to do. It accomplishes zero, but it also gets over a certain idea in your head, which is fundamentally, before we get onto anything, this match kills Randy Orton for the rest of his career.
I don't think it kills Randy Orton, but it killed his momentum at this point in time. The feud was red hot. Everyone loved the feud. I don't think this killed Randy Orton's career. I think it killed his momentum at the time. And
I liked what they did.
Yeah, I liked what they did as well.
Massively over with the idea of they were going to go with this as your main event.
I was alright with that because Randy Orton should have won the feud. If Triple H wants revenge afterwards, he can chase the title for a few months. I don't know what went into this and who went into the booking committee besides Triple H, but they should have pulled him aside and said,
well, okay, let me reword that then. Killed Randy Orton, not necessarily for everyone, but killed him for me. I've never taken him seriously after this. You got the whole him winning the Rumble. Not my first choice, probably not my 30th choice if I'm honest, but fine. The stuff with him and Stephanie when they do the proper build-up, yeah. I'm not a massive fan of Triple H winning the title, but you know where they're going anyway, so you've got your sort of thing. And before we carry on, actually, I want to make a mention of when we bought these tickets off that random hobo in Seattle.
Yeah.
What did we joke about going into this pay-per-view? That it would end with green fireworks.
Green fireworks, yep.
That it would end with Triple H.
Several times, yeah.
Yes. And the whole thing for months and months was, so long as it doesn't end with green fireworks, we'll be alright. And the other thing about it that's massively confusing, as opposed to, before you even get to the match itself, is the fact that you've got Triple H, who's defending his family's honour, you've got Vince McMahon and Shane, who are notorious for letting people get on with their own business and not interfering, and you've got Randy Orton, who's got his own stable. At no point do you get interference. There are certain matches and certain times where you feel like yes, it's overkill, and the Attitude Era is overkill by run-ins every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But pretty much everyone in that arena was waiting for a run-in.
Yeah, they were. If you look at the crowd's reaction after Triple H pins him, and you'll see rows 1 to 10 literally go, ugh, ugh, not this shit again. This was after the height of his ego. He's still on a pretty high plane.
I don't think he had self-confidence issues, let's put it that way.
No.
The other thing as well, do you remember the prevailing theory about what might happen in the bullshit of this match? Shane McMahon joining Legacy because he's third generation.
I don't remember that, no, but that would have been a good idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And then you've got an authority figure.
Man, start talking about old ideas that aren't possibly rehashed in 2018, 2019, 2020, forevermore. The other thing as well is the way this match is done.
But do you remember how this match started before the bell rings?
Isn't it the first move?
Yeah, after the bell rings.
Yeah. Like pedigree, RKO.
Yes.
Yeah, that's shite.
I also believe that there was a rule going into this match, and I'm happy to be corrected. I believe there's a rule. If he uses that sledgehammer, he gets DQ'd and Orton wins the title. I don't know why I went there in my head, but he did it and won the match.
Yeah. By the way, Triple H moved on to feud with Batista immediately after it.
No, Orton won the title because I prayed to the Backlash Frog that he'd lose the title at the next pay-per-view, and he did.
Jeez.
The Backlash Frog worked. I give him 5 nickels or 5 cents or whatever.
Yeah.
A nickel.
Jeez. But the thing is that like you can't tell on the crowd at all, and WWE camera does a really good job. Remember I said about the idea of the amount of crowd that was leaving after Shawn Michaels Undertaker?
Yeah.
What proportion stayed during John Cena and Edge and Big Show? Now it's like a full-on stream of people leaving. There was we're not quite as far back as we're making out, and certainly the camera never really picks it up. But there was like swaths of people leaving now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Didn't even watch the match.
No, that's true.
And I slightly envy them.
Yeah, I envy them. I don't know if I envy them. But I'd just like to point out on the TV at the minute, it says, crowd cheering. I can honestly say the crowd were not cheering at that point.
I think crowd chatter is a genuine more acceptable version of this.
Yeah.
It's difficult for me because I'm not a big fan of Randy Orton and I'm not a big fan of Triple H. But as I say...
I think Triple H has put some good matches on over the years, and people like to shit on him because of his bad personal choices during his career, but...
It's not his personal choices I'm bothered about, it's his booking choices.
What, booking himself?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Personal choices.
I was being nice by saying personal choices. I think he had some unfair criticisms. I know you don't like it, but that match against the Taker at the Mania 28, that was a good match. The one where he put Cena over, was it 23?
I'll give you that.
He put him over, that was a good match.
Yeah.
He had to step up, didn't he? Because when Shawn Michaels lost his back and smile, he had to step in. And I think him and The Rock was a good feud for years. And everyone seemed to like that. It's just like 10 years
They never really had the blow off, did they? You know?
No, they never. Well, they sort of worked their way through the Intercontinental title, and they both pushed yourself up to the world title, didn't they? I think they had good chemistry, The Rock and Triple H, when they were in the ring together.
I gotta say, I never thought Randy Orton and Triple H had specifically good chemistry.
No, they never had good chemistry, no.
And the thing about it that was apparent quite the way through this feud, and even I'd say modern day, is that I never really quite get the feeling like Orton, before they even step in the ring, is on the same level with Triple H. Even when John Cena fights Triple H, you get the feeling that they're on a similar level.
Even
if you don't like Cena, with Orton, it's always like...
You know about here? Or right
general?
I think now it's different.
Yeah, when was the last time Orton actually fought Triple H? This is what I mean. Like specifically, sort of. I don't think Orton's ever been given that sort of opportunity, so to speak. I cannot stand the guy, but I also feel like a lot of that delves from this idea that WWE, and specifically this match, basically turned around and went, "He's not a top guy because this is what happened."
Yeah, I agree with that, and that's why he should have gone over it.
100%. If Orton goes over in this match, regardless of pretty much whatever else happens in his career, unless his gimmick is shit in people's bags. Oh no, wait, that's his personality. I'm not saying definitely, but I do believe that a lot of the damage that I certainly think about him would have been erased. I don't think I'll ever quite get over his wrestling style, but I'll at least believe
that's his gimmick, and it's slow and methodical. That's the thing.
It works with certain people. Look, we're talking about the chemistry between Orton and Triple H. The chemistry between Orton and Christian is off the charts, and you wouldn't necessarily pair them two together.
No. They're completely different.
Yeah?
I don't say that. Christian's not the quickest wrestler, is he?
No.
I suppose it's similar styles. Like, he's more of an old school.
Yeah.
I think Triple H is more of an old school wrestler.
Maybe that's why Triple H works with Cena more than he does with Orton, because Cena's brawling style, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. I think that goes down to how he was trained and stuff like that. Whereas the guys in NXT now, they have to be. I don't know. It seems to me like all have to be quick strikers, unless you're a big heavy machinery. It seems to me like they teach them all Ricochet and Aleister Black, and they're all quick. And all the ones Rollins, I don't know about Reigns when he was in NXT, he's still not. Yeah. They all seem quick. I know it's because they all come from the indie scene, where for some reason on the indie scene, if you're not a quick flippy wrestler, you shit basically.
Well, I think there's two distinct styles that developed over time, and WWE is sort of, I wouldn't say a fault for it, because I don't think it's like a problem, but it's just, you've either got to be really high flying or really deathmatcher.
WWE won't touch the deathmatch.
No, they won't, which means what are they left with?
AEW. That's what they're left with.
Man, Ted DiBiase has been... That's why he wasn't coming out here. He was backstage with Cody Rhodes trying to get AEW off the ground back then.
And Jimmy Havoc. Someone like Jimmy Havoc, they would never touch Jimmy Havoc with a barge pole because he's too violent. Yeah, at AEW, you can just go to AEW.
But what I'm saying is you're saying the only guys they've got are those fast guys. If they're the only ones they're left with...
WWE, Yeah, I agree with you. But look at the... I don't really watch...
It's funny actually.
I've only seen Undisputed Era in 2 or 3 matches, but they're typical indie wrestlers to me. They're not WWE wrestlers.
It's difficult for me because I look at someone like Orton as a perfect example of a guy that could never possibly come through the indies.
No, he couldn't. Orton's a WWE guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The look of him, the size of him, the style he wrestles.
Yeah. Promos he cuts.
Yeah, I don't think any of the old guys, I don't think Triple H should come for NXT or anything.
I think that's different. There's definitely like different eras. If Triple H were in a scenario whereby he was a 20, 21-year-old wrestler now, I could see him figuring out a way. If Orton had to come through the indies now, I'm not sure he'd make it.
No,
and that's harsh. That's very harsh.
That's because of his attitude, though. If he was a young kid, he was a knob. Let's face it, he was a knob. What was Triple H called in WC? Was Terrorizing?
Yes.
Terry Rising.
Terry Rising.
That's brilliant.
No, Terry Rising was the orange fucking racist at the top of the card. Terry Rising. Jesus Christ, Terry Racist. Jeez. I will tell you the one thing, you're talking about old school, about this match that does sort of resonate with me more now than they do get these days, is I know the main event matches are more to do with people that are just either over now or were over back in the day, and this is hilarious when we're talking about Triple H, seeing as he's going to take a high profile match at this year's WrestleMania. But this was actually a main event with a storyline which we don't ever get.
That's true, I've not thought about that. What was last year's main event? Lesnar and Reigns. That sort of had a storyline of "You're not here, bitch."
Yeah.
Followed by Paul Heyman talking things for 20 minutes.
That's not storylines so much as people talking.
I think Rollins has got more of a legitimate reason this year because he started the champion's not here and I'm the fucking man thing.
Even that's more to do with, and I do get the idea that the title should be as simple as, you got the title, I want the title, we want to see who's best, I get it.
Yeah.
But at WrestleMania, it should be a bit more than that. It should be like, it doesn't have to be like you home invade, kiss my wife and tank off into the ring ropes.
Yeah.
But I quite like the idea that it's got that little extra sort of heat to it because, I mean, I didn't care at the time. Watching it back, the crowd aren't massively enamoured with it. But at the same time, you could tell, having not got the sound on, watching this back, like at least the two of them within themselves are telling a story of, I'm fucking furious with you and I'm fucking furious with you, and the title's on the line.
Yeah. Looking back, I don't think this match is as bad as everyone makes out. It's not great, don't get me wrong.
I tell you what, I didn't realise that shaky bullshit WWE camera work was in this early.
No, actually, it's really annoying.
Yeah.
Why can't they just keep the camera on Orton like that?
It's hard to watch at times.
But this, I don't know. I don't think this match is as bad. Sorry to go off subject here. Mike Chioda, I don't think he's refereed all night. Is this when he was on his smoky suspension?
Mike Chioda versus Rob Van Dam on the dark match. I genuinely could have sworn. I think he was referee of Undertaker Michaels the following year.
He must have been. He
Yeah.
certainly weren't this year, was he?
Nah. Man, Nick Patrick could have took that role. I liked him.
What
as a
happened to
snob.
Nick Patrick? I bet he's running a nice little chowder restaurant somewhere.
Chowder restaurant.
I reckon he is.
Nick Patrick's catch of the day. Nick Catrick. No, it's not going to work, no matter how I try.
Nick Patrick, that's good.
Jeez.
You're going to screw if he runs a chowder restaurant.
I think the idea of Nick Patrick running a chowder restaurant is about as likely as we watching this match back and finding out Randy Orton won.
Oh, he's not doing anything.
Well, he could have been refereeing this match. The referee's been knocked down. Also, as well, like I know the referee's like supposed to sell this idea of like he's in pain or whatnot, but Randy Orton's got the sledgehammer right in front of him. He has got eyes still. Genuinely, I don't know like how this is supposed to work in kayfabe, but like if referees are hurt and see wrestlers with weapons, are they just like, I could stop you, but I'm in so much pain, so I'm just going to hope you don't use it?
Yeah, pretty much.
It would have been quite an alarmingly underwhelming end to the night if he'd have just DQ'd him there, but still, it was an underwhelming end to the night anyway.
So this is bullshit. I'm sorry, this is bullshit. You have to hit him with a sledgehammer to beat him.
I think this is their way of protecting Randy Orton, but just simply having him...
Do you know what really, really protects Randy Orton?
winning.
Yes.
Oh my God.
If he won the world title.
And the thing about that as well, we mentioned this whole idea of like Schmoz finish where like Legacy run down, Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon, you could do the whole sort of family bullshit McMahon angle. This is the one time they've actually stopped doing the McMahon bullshit, and it's the one time it probably called for it the most.
Yeah, that's true. So he hits him with a sledgehammer and then feels the need to continually punch and out cold Randy Orton as hard as he can, and I'm pretty sure he pins him after this.
Actually, that does sound familiar because I do remember the finish not being like a sudden, oh, this is like just this finish. It was, oh my God, I can't believe they ended it there. I wanted it to end, but...
Yeah, there must be a pedigree.
Yeah, I think there is.
There must be a pedigree. Although I would love it and have more respect if he just pinned him right there. Pedigree, yeah.
Hello, Randy Orton. Let's say goodbye to your main event career, even though you were in the main event after this.
Right. So let's have a look at rows 1 to 10 in the background. So
there's a guy with a Cavs jersey who's just got a nail up.
3. And everybody just goes,
oh,
that's that.
Yeah.
I better get back to the car park and complain.
Like, honestly, the moment it cuts away, you can actually see, I mentioned about the amount of people leaving to the exits, you can see in that shot after Triple H wins,
Why are these people
the upper
clapping?
decks going.
Why are these people clapping? That was a shit result.
And basically, we mentioned this earlier, but we had a year's worth of build-up. It's not quite a WrestleMania-style feud, but what we were trying to do was avoid the green fireworks, and what we got was green fireworks.
There we go.
Triple H booking is way to the top. I like it.
You know, I don't think you should go over tonight. You could win a backlash when no one's watching.
It's actually Triple H talking to himself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Ends up pinning himself for no particular reason. Was that genuinely thing there, like, as we're watching the replay, was that meant to be the punt?
Yeah.
Because I didn't catch that in real time. I didn't catch it when we were watching it back. Like, the punt was death at this point. The punt was worse than Hogan's leg drop.
So just to finish him off, just to be clear, he punted him, then he hit him with a sledgehammer, then he punched him repeatedly while he was out cold several times, followed by a pedigree. Okay, just to be clear, that was bollocks.
I think that's fair. The other thing as well is that, like, okay, maybe don't get everyone involved and have like a 60-man clusterfuck, but like have Randy Orton somehow cheat his way to get on top. He beats down Triple H, and then Stephanie comes out, and have that as the fucking point of reference of like Triple H wants to protect Stephanie, but Stephanie wants to attack Randy Orton because everything he's done to her.
I agree.
Like, what they're trying to do, the story they're trying to tell is basically Triple H is the husband and the caring family man that he is, family-friendly man that he is, the king of kings, the best of bests. He's exacting revenge on this dastardly villain, but you don't feel like that. What you feel like when you're watching it is like, oh fuck, Triple H is just beating a Randy Orton.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I agree with that.
And okay, I'll give you this much, and this is the smallest common comfort.
Isn't the guy meant to win the end of the feud? Win at the end of the feud?
Not at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not if that guy
So
Triple H.
overall, Randy Orton won the feud as the bad guy that had beat his family up.
Yeah, but it didn't matter because it wasn't the grandest stage of them all.
Okay. So,
This is the weird thing about starting feuds at WrestleMania. When you're ending feuds at WrestleMania,
yeah.
Triple H winning in this fashion makes perfect sense. Like extracting the revenge. I don't think it works in terms of the way they did it, but like the good guy should go over.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work like this at all, and certainly anyway they booked it ass backwards, and somehow when you book it ass backwards, it comes out as ass.
Yeah, or you get a Cesar.
Yeah, I'd rather have that than this because I don't know what that is. I don't know what this is.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like something you get cream for.
Yeah,
Fortunately, there's no cream for this. There's no cure for this.
The cure is to pass him on to NXT so you can pass his wisdom on.
Do you know how like bad things happen to good ideas, and then some good comes out of it, like penicillin being born out of the way of mold and all that?
Yes.
Right. This is. Are you saying like this is the bad thing, but the mold is set, and then NXT is the penicillin for how wrestling is?
Triple H is the penicillin himself.
He's both the cause and the cure for how bad wrestling is.
Vince is the disease.
Jeez. I think actually looking back at it as a whole, having watched this pay-per-view back for the first time ever, it's good. I liked it at the time.
It wasn't as bad as I thought, actually.
Yeah, I'm big fan of being there for what is, in my opinion, the best WrestleMania match, if not best match of all time. And just the fact that it just gassed everyone afterwards, not just the wrestlers.
It did.
WWE has this record and has this precedent set well long ago of having a match where we joked about this at the time, the idea of like Rock Hogan, what it did to the crowd afterwards. They won't make that mistake again.
Definitely.
No, they did. Yeah.
Triple H has been punished by that twice.
And I think the easiest thing to say is like when we were leaving the arena on this particular evening,
I was angry.
You were very angry.
It wasn't even at that match.
No.
It was at CM Punk.
Yes. Of all the takeaways to take away from this pay-per-view.
How wrong I was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think, just to wrap this up as a whole, it was a case of, okay, this WrestleMania, it was not exactly necessarily awarded, but it was a great experience being there.
It was.
A great experience doing this podcast, first of all.
Yeah, it was.
And
Pacquiao's is also a great experience.
Pacquiao's, by the way, let's point out where we were staying in Houston. It was, what was it, like 20 minutes from this arena? You did a jog up there, like.
I did, yeah. I was.
Humidity was quite hot.
Yeah, it was really humid. I couldn't run more than 5 minutes out my chest burning.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea to run in that humidity.
No, probably not. It was about a 20-minute walk, wasn't it?
Yeah. And so, like, we weren't that far, and a restaurant there, which definitely wasn't called Pacquiao's, but was called Pacquiao's. And
still there, you know.
Is it?
Still open for business. I checked the other week.
We should go back, man.
Should they? Yeah.
It would be the best decision you could ever possibly make. Unlike Triple H making the decision to go over in this main event, that was a bad decision. The only decision better than that is listening to this podcast. This has been Beyond the Beermat. On that note, I have to bring it to a close. Unlike WrestleMania 25, this one ends stronger.
This was the podcast of the Immortals.
Indeed. All right, we'll catch you again another time. Thank you for listening. Goodbye for now.